with the weapons they had, and according to the police, they had extremely sophisticated weapons. They were heavily armed. They started firing at the task force present there, which is when there was retaliation from the personnel on ground. It is in the exchange of fire that Atiq Ahmed's son, Asad Ahmed, was shot dead. This is the big breaking news that's coming in at a time when Atiq Ahmed, the gangster, and his brother Ashraf are in Prayagraj, in another part of Uttar Pradesh. They've been produced in court right now, and the cops, as we speak, are seeking custody of both Atiq Ahmed and Ashraf Ahmed. So we'll track what's happening there as well. But this is a huge breakthrough, really, in the Umesh Pal killing case, as Asad Ahmed, named as a mastermind, named as one of the main accused in the case, has now been killed, shot dead in an encounter. This is the big breaking news that's coming in. No doubt it is going to be getting in a lot of reactions, questioning if this is what Yogi's governance is all about. If encounter Raj is happening left, right and center in the state of Uttar Pradesh. The BJP has been maintaining that there's a fear today that Yogi Adityanath has instilled in gangsters across Uttar Pradesh, in criminals across Uttar Pradesh. But was this legally followed? Was this a valid encounter? Will be questions that are asked. But right now, we're going to try and get you more details on exactly what happened. Samat Srivastava is joining us live with more details on this. Samat, what's the information you're picking up right now on Asad Ahmed's encounter?
Well, exactly, that's a big breaking coming in because Asad was out of radar of Uttar Pradesh police since long, and suddenly this news has come to light. And it's not just Asad but also Ghulam, another shooter who has a rupees 5 lakh money on his head. But this is the big news coming in because UP STF and UP police in a joint operation were taking on Asad. And what UP STF chief Amitabh Yash told India Today TV that they wanted to arrest Asad, but when cross-firing happened, they had to kill him in an encounter, else other policemen would have died in that particular collision. So that's a big in coming in because nobody expected this, that Asad would be killed in the encounter. And you also saw opposition parties raising on the encounter policy of Yogi government, and now it's also going to become a political thing with Samajwadi Party and Congress members taking questions to the Yogi government, why you killed Asad in the encounter. So that's the political thing. But when you come to this part, at one hand, UP police is seeking the custody remand of Atiq Ahmed and Ashraf, while on the other hand, in Jhansi, during that period, when the order is reserved from the court regarding that particular matter, his son Asad being killed. Now it's going to be very crucial how Atiq Ahmed reacts to this major update coming in of his son being killed, because Asad was the main shooter in the conspiracy, in the shootout that happened in Prayagraj 2 months back, where Umesh Pal along with 2 gunners was killed mercilessly in a way. Using bombs were even heard, and Asad was quite seen in the CCTV footage where he was firing and he killed Umesh Pal. Though Shaista was also involved, and it's going to be worth seeing how Shaista, how Atiq Ahmed, the parents of Asad, would react to this particular major update which is coming in. But UP police has cleared his things because earlier also 2 encounters took place in this particular case, and now this has become big because Asad is the son of Atiq Ahmed and he was out of radar since that incident. It was around a matter of 40 to 45 days since Asad was out of radar of Uttar Pradesh police, and it was also said whether Asad has crossed the Indian border and has reached to Nepal or Bangladesh. There were many things, many rumors going around on internet. But when the night time came, Uttar Pradesh police delivered, though the question will be asked on the encounter killing of Asad and Ghulam, but UP police would see it as a major win. And also the Yogi government, whose CM Yogi Adityanath claimed in the assembly, mitti mein mila denge, and that is something which is happening quite heavily since that day, be it the bulldozer action, be it the encounter, or be it the encounter killing of Asad now. It's very crucial. I'm just waiting what Atiq Ahmed would say once he comes out from the court after the decision regarding the police custody remand.
Inside court, Samat is reporting there from Prayagraj, and Atiq Ahmed, as we speak, is inside court right now. finding out whether he is going to be remanded to police custody or not. This is something that Atiq Ahmed always said, Samarth. He said, I feel unsafe. I feel I'm going to be shot dead and my life is going to be taken away. There were lots of jibes that were taken when, in fact, Atiq Ahmed was transported from Sabarmati to Uttar Pradesh, saying that he's going to meet a similar fate as gangster Vikas Dubey. And you mentioned also that point that Yogi Adityanath had made in the assembly when he said, Mitti mein mila denge. All of that will lead to questions about this encounter that's happened now. But Atiq Ahmed's son, Asad Ahmed, who is also a gangster who was involved in the killing of Umesh Pal, has now, in fact, been shot dead in an encounter. Let's cut across to more reactions.
जी, उत्तर प्रदेश उमेश पाल की हत्या जब हुई थी तो विधानसभा चल रहा था और विधानसभा के सत्र के दौरान उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री ने उत्तर प्रदेश की महान जनता को और उमेश पाल के परिवार को आश्वस्त करते हुए कहा था कि माफियाओं को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे। उसी की श्रृंखला में पहले भी कुछ मारे गए हैं। तमाम उनकी जो संपत्ति है बेनामी वो ध्वस्त की गई है और जब्त की गई है। इसके अलावा आज उमेश पाल की हत्या में आपने फुटेज आपकी चैनल लगातार दिखा रही थी उस समय कि ये असद खुद मौके पर था और वो जो बम फेंक रहा था वो आज दोनों को उत्तर प्रदेश की एसटीएफ ने जो मार गिराया है। तो ये उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री ने जो वादा किया था उसको निभाया है।
आपको जब एनकाउंटर की खबर मिली आपने उमेश पाल के परिवार वालों से बातचीत की, संपर्क किया उनसे?
मैं 2 बार उनके घर, एक बार नहीं बल्कि 2 बार गया था और आश्वस्त करता रहता था। अब आज जो है मौके का अपराधी मारा गया है जो स्वयं उस घटनाक्रम में वीडियो के माध्यम से सीसीटीवी के माध्यम से लगातार दिखाई दे रहे हैं। इस समय प्रयागराज में पूरी मीडिया उनके घर पर है। इस समय बात करना उचित नहीं है। मैं निश्चित तौर से जया पाल से बात करूंगा और निरंतर हम लोग संपर्क में रहते हैं।
बघेल साहब, क्योंकि आज ही अतीक और अशरफ की भी पेशी हो रही है सीजेएम कोर्ट में और ऐसे में रिमांड मांगी जा रही है। 14 दिन की जो रिमांड है उसमें जिस तरीके से पूछताछ की जाएगी, आपको लगता है कि जल्द फैसले की घड़ी आ सकती है इस पूरे मामले में?
जी, मुझे लगता है कि जब से अतीक अहमद को आजीवन कारावास हुआ है उसके बाद जो पेंडिंग केस है और क्योंकि आजीवन है, आजीवन का मतलब होता है टिल डेथ। आजीवन का मतलब देहात में कहते हैं कि 10 साल या 20 साल रात दिन गिनते हैं, ऐसा नहीं होता। उसका होता है कि टिल डेथ। तो वो तमाम गवाह, तमाम वादी जो विभिन्न मुकदमों में हैं, जो पीड़ित हैं, उन सबको कॉन्फिडेंस हुआ है और अब वो स्वतंत्र एवं निष्पक्ष तरीके से जो है भय विहीन अपनी गवाहियां देंगी। तो मुझे लगता है कि
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए। डिप्टी सीएम केशव प्रसाद मौर्य इस वक्त हमारे साथ जुड़ गए हैं। मौर्य साहब, ये एक बड़ा एक्शन यूपी एसटीएफ का, एक बड़ी कामयाबी आपकी सरकार के लिए, क्योंकि आपके ही सीएम ने कहा था कि मिट्टी में मिला दूंगा ऐसे माफियाओं को।
नहीं, निश्चित तौर से ये नए भारत का नया उत्तर प्रदेश है। जिस प्रकार से खूंखार अपराधियों ने एक अधिवक्ता की श्री उमेश पाल और 2 हमारे पुलिस के जवानों की दिन दहाड़े हत्या करने का काम किया था और बड़े लंबे समय से ये कहीं न कहीं बचते और भागते रहे हैं। आज यह खबर मैंने भी अभी अभी सुना है कि इन दोनों बड़े खूंखार अपराधियों का इनकाउंटर हो चुका है और मैं पूरी पुलिस टीम को, एसटीएफ को बधाई देता हूं। और उन्होंने लंबी, मतलब एक तरह से कह लीजिए कि कोशिश के बाद ये सफलता प्राप्त की है और उनके सफलता पर मैं शुभकामना देता हूं उत्तर प्रदेश की एक जनता की ओर से।
मौर्य जी, जिस तरीके से ये एनकाउंटर हुआ है, 1.5 महीने बाद दोनों पकड़े गए, उसके बाद एनकाउंटर हुआ, लेकिन जो बाकी बचे अपराधी हैं जो मुख्य तौर पर सीसीटीवी फुटेज में दिखाई दे रहे हैं, अब क्या लगता है वो सरेंडर कर देंगे खौफ में?
पहले भी कहा था और आज फिर दोहरा रहा हूं कि जो इस प्रकार के अपराधों को अंजाम देने वाले लोग हैं वो पाताल के अंदर भी घुस जाएंगे, तब भी उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस उन्हें खोज करके लाएगी। उनके अपराध की सजा कानून के माध्यम से दिलाने का काम होता है। इन लोगों का जिस प्रकार से पुलिस पर हमला करना, फिर पुलिस की जवाबी कार्रवाई में इन सबका ढेर होना, यह निश्चित तौर से प्रयागराज की जनता के लिए भी और प्रदेश की जनता के लिए भी एक बहुत सुकून का संदेश है। और इस प्रकार का जो अपराध करने वाले हैं उनके लिए संदेश भी गया है कि अपराधी कुछ दिन तो बच सकता है, भाग सकता है, लेकिन आज वही अतीक अहमद जिसके नाम से पूरा प्रयागराज, पूरा उत्तर प्रदेश और देश में भी उसकी तूती बोलती थी, आज वहां कोर्ट के कटघरे में खड़ा है और एक हुआ दिन दहाड़े हत्या करके जिस प्रकार से उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर एक गंभीर जो एक घटना को अंजाम देने का काम किया था, प्रयागराज में गंभीर घटना को अंजाम देने का काम किया था, आज वह ढेर पड़े हैं, आज मिट्टी में मिल गए।
जिस तरीके से मौर्य जी, अतीक ने कहा कि मिट्टी में तो पहले ही उसका परिवार मिल चुका था, अब सिर्फ उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार उन्हें रगड़ रही है।
मेरा आप सभी मीडिया के अनुरोध रहेगा, ऐसे अपराधियों को इतना आप लोग दिखाते हैं, वो कोई ऐसे लोग नहीं, वो समाज के दुश्मन लोग हैं और वह अगर कोई भी अपराध करेगा तो पुलिस उसको कोर्ट में पेश करती है। कोर्ट में जो पेश हुआ है उसका बयान भी अगर टेलीविजन में इस प्रकार से आया है तो ये तो स्वतंत्रता है आपकी, आप कोई भी चीज पूछ सकते हैं, दिखा सकते हैं, लेकिन ऐसे अपराधियों को कोई देखना भी नहीं चाहता है। ये प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हैं कि माननीय न्यायालय के समक्ष जो मुकदमा है उस मुकदमे में जल्द से जल्द सुनवाई पूरी करके जितनी कठोर से कठोर ऐसे लोगों को सजा मिल सकती वो मिले, इसकी लोग प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हैं। जी,
आप उमेश पाल के परिवार से मिले हैं या फिर उनसे फोन पर बातचीत हुई है आपकी?
पूरा परिवार, उमेश पाल जी का पूरा परिवार, वो चूंकि पहले दूसरे दल में थे, बाद में जिस समय अभी हत्या हुई, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सदस्य के रूप में, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता के रूप में रहे हैं और उनका निधन बहुत ही दुखद था। और जिस प्रकार से बसपा के विधायक रहे राजू पाल की हत्या करने का काम किया गया था, उससे भी खूंखार तरीके से उमेश पाल जी की हत्या की गई थी, उससे हम सब दुखी हैं। पूरा जो उनका परिवार है उस परिवार के साथ हम भी खड़े हैं, हमारी पूरी पार्टी खड़ी है, सरकार खड़ी है और ये दुखद घटना हो गई तो हमें सदा अफसोस रहेगा।
अब इस परिवार को न्याय जल्द से जल्द मिलेगा मौर्य जी?
निश्चित तौर से मिलेगा, निश्चित मिलेगा। हाँ,
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए, तमाम बातचीत के लिए। केशव प्रसाद मौर्य, यूपी के डिप्टी सीएम।
So that is the UP Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya speaking to India today, saying mitti mein mila diya. The government, the BJP is hailing this. They're celebrating this encounter, saying this right here is the Yogi model. This right here is New India. We're getting in more information right now of exactly how that encounter broke out. Asad Ahmed and the other accused Ghulam were hiding in a dam between two police stations. They were cornered essentially when they started firing at the state task force. This is the police's version right now. We're also hearing right now that Prayagraj, where in fact Atiq Ahmed is currently inside a courtroom along with his brother, he started sobbing. He started crying. The dreaded gangster literally on his knees now in court. Let's cut across to Abhishek Mishra. He is speaking to Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya.
उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने वो किया है जिसका इंतजार हो रहा था। कहा जा रहा था कि अपराधी कब पकड़ा जाएगा, कब कानून की गिरफ्त में होगा, लेकिन असद इनकाउंटर में मारा गया है और सरकार ने आखिरकार जो दावा किया था उस पर बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ उत्तर प्रदेश के उप मुख्यमंत्री केशव प्रसाद मौर्य हैं। सर, आपसे बात हो रही थी, असद का इनकाउंटर हुआ है, आपने कहा था चाहे पाताल में हो कहीं भी हो मिट्टी से मिला देंगे, निकाल के बाहर करें।
मैं भी इस बात को फिर दोहरा रहा हूं कि जो किसी की हत्या करेगा तो उसको कानून के हिसाब से फांसी के फंदे में चढ़ना सुनिश्चित है। एसटीएफ लगातार खोज कर रही थी। आज एक बड़ी मुठभेड़ में जिस प्रकार से हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस और एसटीएफ के जवानों ने इन दोनों हत्यारों को, चाहे उसमें असद हो चाहे गुलाम नाम का हो, और इनके इनकाउंटर से प्रयागराज प्रदेश और सभी लोगों में बहुत खुशी है कि इस प्रकार के अपराधियों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए थी। यह मुठभेड़ में मारे गए और हो सकता है कि ये पकड़ करके आते तो ये फांसी के फंदे पर चढ़ते, क्योंकि एक गंभीर अपराध।
आपको लगता है कि बड़ी कामयाबी, क्योंकि 45 दिन हो गया था, शूटर बाहर था, गिरफ्त में नहीं था, वहां पर पेशी हुई है, रिमांड आपने मांगी है, यहाँ बेटा मारा गया है, इसको आप कितनी बड़ी उपलब्धि मानते हैं या देरी हुई है?
निश्चित तौर से देखिए, देरी नहीं हुई। पुलिस ने लगातार परिश्रम किया, प्रयास किया, उसका परिणाम है कि आज यह दो जो मुख्य अभियुक्तों में से रहे हैं उसमें एक अतीक अहमद का बेटा भी है और एक दूसरा उसका साथी है। दोनों के मुठभेड़ में ढेर होने के समाचार आ रहे हैं। मैं इसके लिए बधाई देते हुए यह मानता हूं कि आज यह देखें अपराध करने वाले कि बाप उस असद का आज कोर्ट के कटघरे में खड़ा है उसका चच्चा कोर्ट के कटघरे में खड़ा है और ऐसा अपराधी वो ढेर पड़ा है जो इस प्रकार का अपराध करेगा। उसे अब ये समझना चाहिए कि अब उत्तर प्रदेश में अपराध करने की जगह नहीं है। यह उत्तर प्रदेश एक तरह से नए भारत का नया उत्तर प्रदेश।
एक आरोप आप पर विपक्ष भी लगा
कर रही थी, अब किनका एनकाउंटर आप देखना चाहती हैं? कौन लोग हैं जिनका और एनकाउंटर होना चाहिए?
वो मैं प्रशासन पे छोड़ा है, प्रशासन मुझे न्याय दिला रही है, वो देर में ही चाहिए लेकिन देंगे तो प्रशासन ही हमको न्याय दिला रहा है।
अच्छा, अतीक के लड़के का इनकाउंटर हुआ जिसका इंतजार था आप लोगों का, अब लगता है कि उमेश पाल जी की आत्मा को शांति मिलेगी?
देखिए, आत्मा की शांति तो मिल जाएगी ही। ईश्वर जिसने न्याय दिलाया है वो सबसे बड़ा है। उन्होंने जो कुछ भी किया है बहुत अच्छा किया है। अब मैं आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का, जो पिता समान है सारे बच्चों के। उन्होंने न्याय अच्छी तरह से दिया, मैं बस धन्यवाद ही कह सकती हूँ।
माता जी आपका क्या कहना है? माता जी आप लगातार माता जी आपकी मांग पूरी हुई है, क्या कहना चाहेंगी? पहली प्रतिक्रिया आपकी क्या है? माता जी पहले क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
देखिए बेटा, हम लोग तो पहले से चिल्ला रहे थे, लेकिन हमारा चिल्लाना हमारे हाथ में नहीं था।
थोड़ा जोर से
इसलिए मतलब जो हम चिल्ला रहे थे कि उनका इनकाउंटर किया जाए, तो मेरे हाथ में नहीं था, मेरा कहना था। लेकिन मैं इस समय मुख्यमंत्री जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करती हूँ और पुलिस विभाग के ऊपर, जो कि उन लोगों ने मुख्यमंत्री का आदेश था, जो यहाँ के मुख्यालय जितने पुलिस प्रशासन के हैं, उन्होंने अपना फर्ज अदा किया, जो उनको करना चाहिए उन्होंने अच्छा न्याय किया। इसके आगे अब जो भी हुआ है वो कानूनी तौर से फैसला हुआ है। आगे जो हैं उनके लिए भी जो प्रशासन सोच रही है, या इतनी दिन से भाग दौड़ मचा रही है, पुलिस विभाग छटपटा रही है, तो उनको जो करना है वो अपने लाइन से अपने हाथों द्वारा करेंगे। हमें मुख्यमंत्री जी के ऊपर पूरा भरोसा था और आज भी भरोसा है कि वो हमको अच्छा फैसला देंगे और फैसला के बाद हमारे आत्मा को संतुष्टि मिलेगी।
ठीक है, आपके घर के सामने असद और गुलाम जिस तरीके से गोली चला रहे थे, आज पुलिस के हत्थे चढ़े इनकाउंटर हो गया, क्या लगता है इंसाफ की पहली सीढ़ी मिल गई है?
देखिए, वो तो हम कह रहे हैं ना कि मुख्यमंत्री जी के ऊपर और पुलिस विभाग के ऊपर हमको पहले से भरोसा था। अब वो भरोसा आज मुझको दिखाई दिया कि मेरे बेटे के 2 हत्यारे मारे गए।
आगे आप क्या चाहती हैं, किसका एनकाउंटर देखना चाहती हैं?
देखिए बेटा, यही है कि जो भी आज पुलिस प्रशासन ने किया है और ऊपर मुख्यमंत्री जी का आदेश था, बस इसी तरह ये करते रहे, हमारे आत्मा को संतुष्टि।
माता जी अतीक को लेकर क्या चाहती हैं? अतीक और जो अशरद है उसको लेकर क्या चाहती हैं आप?
देखिए, अभी हमने कोर्ट का सुना है कि उसको जो है तो पुलिस रिमांड पे ली है। अब वो जब रिमांड पे ले चुकी है तो जितना होगा अपने कानूनी कार्रवाई से उनसे पूछताछ करेंगे। उसके बाद वो जो बयान देगा, अगर कसूरमंद होंगे तो उनको अदालत सजा देगी, अगर कानूनमंद नहीं होगा तो बरी रहेंगे।
तो माता जी आपको लगता है एनकाउंटर जो है वो उमेश जी के लिए सच्ची श्रद्धांजलि होगी?
देखिए बेटा, जिसने मेरे बेटे को खरेआम गोली यहाँ से मारी है और हम लोग देख रहे हैं, जो पीछे गनर बैठा गाड़ी से उतर नहीं पाया, उसको इसने राइफल से मारा था। तो कम से कम उन लोगों की श्रद्धांजलि आज कुछ मिली है, बस मेरा यही कहना है। देखिए बेटा, अब मुख्यमंत्री जी के ऊपर है और जो चारों तरफ भागे हैं पुलिस प्रशासन, तो उनके ऊपर है, कितना मेहनत करते हैं उनका मेहनत सफल होगा।
योगी जी ने कहा था कि इस माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे, तो क्या लगता है मिट्टी मिलाने का काम शुरू हो गया?
देखिए बेटा, ये 2 काउंटर हुए हैं, तो ये तो पाप किए थे, पाप के भागी थे, उसका सजा इनको आज मिला है।
क्या लगता है अतीक को सजा मिलेगी? और भी शूटर है, अभी साइस्ता परवीन है, 4 और भी लोग हैं।
देखिए बेटा, जो हैं तो धीमे धीमे हमने यही कहा था ना कि देर है अंधेर नहीं है। जो मुख्यमंत्री जी या पुलिस विभाग कर रही है वो अपना काम करेंगी, हमको मात्र फैसले का।
तो अतीक को भी सजा मिलेगी, पूरी उम्मीद है आपको?
अब देखिए बेटा, अभी तो रिमांड पे है, आगे क्या होता है।
So late Umesh Pal's family, there's wife, mother feeling a sense of justice. Remember, Umesh Pal was shot dead in broad daylight by this man, by Asad Ahmed, as well as several others. Atiq Ahmed behind bars have plotted the killing. But right now, the BJP, you've got Umesh Pal's family, all of them referring to what Yogi Adityanath had said a few months ago when he said, "Mitti mein mila denge." Now they're saying, "Mitti mein mila diya," with this kind of an encounter. They're extremely emotional. They're thanking the Chief Minister. For them, obviously, it's a sense of justice. This man, Asad Ahmed, has been hiding since February 24th. He's been on the run since then. There was a bounty of 5 lakh rupees on his head. And what the Uttar Pradesh police tells us is that the state task force led by 2 deputy SPs tracked him down to Jhansi in Uttar Pradesh. They cornered him. He was stuck in a dam between 2 police stations, had sophisticated weapons with him, started firing at the cops. Exchange of fire took place. Asad Ahmed and the other accused Ghulam were shot dead. And let's in fact get you those reactions. The last 1.5 months, there's been a lot of focus on the Uttar Pradesh police on whether they'd be able to nab these accused, whether they'd be able to nab Atiq Ahmed's son Asad Ahmed. Yogi Adityanath had shot off a clear warning to these gangsters with a no-nonsense message when he said, "Mitti mein mila denge." And then you had Atiq Ahmed responding to that, saying it's already happened to us. We want to play out those reactions for you.
जिस अतीक अहमद के खिलाफ पीड़ित परिवारों ने मुकदमा दर्ज कराया उसके परिवार के खिलाफ, वो समाजवादी पार्टी के द्वारा पोषित माफिया है और उसकी कमर को तोड़ने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है। और फिर मैं कह रहा हूं, इसे इस माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे। सरकार किसी है, सरकार किसी है, दखलत में हो, ये माफिया है, इनको मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम करेंगे। अपराधी आप लोग हैं, अपराधी को भी दूर कर अपराधी।
हम आपके जरिए गवर्नमेंट से कहना चाहते हैं कि बिल्कुल मट्टी में मिल गए हैं, अब हमारे औरतों को बच्चों को परेशान न करें।
So that was Atiq Ahmed saying, "Now enough, please don't target my family." The reality is that Atiq Ahmed's family was very much involved in the killing of Umesh Pal. His 3rd son, Asad Ahmed, has now been shot dead in an encounter. Samarth Srivastava is joining us with more details from Prayagraj. As we speak, Samarth, Atiq Ahmed is also facing the law. His brother Ashraf and he are inside the court premises. And we hear that the moment this news break came in, the moment news came in of his son Asad being shot dead in an encounter, he broke down. He fell down and started sobbing. His brother Ashraf also was in a panic.
Well, exactly, Atiq broke down, he fell down because this was something he did not expect. But Yogi government, as per the Keshav Prasad Maurya, the UP Deputy CM, he claimed and patted the back of UP STF officers for doing this impossible because nobody is expecting this, that Asad could be killed in an encounter. Though UP STF chief Amitabh Yash claims that they wanted to arrest Asad and Ghulam, but when cross-firing happened and seeing the danger on the lives of other policemen who went there for the secret operation, then they were pressed to kill Asad and Ghulam in a go in Jhansi, in a village near Jhansi. So that's a big breaking coming in, and what we got from the sources from inside the court, where Atiq broke down and he was crying badly after hearing the news of the demise of his son Asad. But this is something he let this entire scenario happen because it was the planning of Ashraf and Atiq to bring Asad in the crime zone, and because Asad was not a criminal before, but they were the ones who planted him as a criminal, and then now Asad has become the major thing because Asad now has been killed by UPSTF, and it is not the end because Asad was something who was called the major shooter in this particular shootout. And if we see 3 other shooters are still alive, are still free, are running from UP police, and now it's going to be worth seeing how UP police acts on that particular thing. But now, if police gets the police custody of Atiq and Ashraf, things might be difficult for Ashraf as well, because Ashraf previously also claimed that his life is also in danger. A senior officer told that he could be killed in an encounter while moving from Bareilly jail to Prayagraj or Prayagraj to Bareilly jail. So now they would be in major pressure, be it Atiq Ahmed, be it Ashraf or the other three shooters, including Guddu Muslim.
This is going to get Atiq Ahmed very, very scared right now for his life. He said it before, but now with this becoming a reality, with one of his own, his third son being shot dead in an encounter, he's no doubt going to be fearing for his life. And let's make it very clear, Asad Ahmed, the man who's been shot dead in that encounter, has been wanted since February 24th. He's been on the run. He was asked to surrender. He refused to do so. He was hiding from the cops. There was a bounty of 5 lakh rupees on his head. He was involved in the killing of Umesh Pal in broad daylight. He was captured in the CCTV footage, which confirmed that he was there at the spot. Reports suggest that he rallied all of the shooters at the behest of his father. So he was actively involved in the killing of Umesh Pal. Gaurav Sawant is joining us live from our newsroom as well. Gaurav, you had 2 other shooters who were also killed in a similar manner, who were killed in encounters. The latest now is 2 more, Asad Ahmed as well as Ghulam. So obviously it's going to lead to a lot of talk about Encounter Raj becoming the big talking point right now.
These are the first images, these are the first images that we are putting out on India Today of that encounter. Lying next to that motorcycle are the bodies of Asad Ahmed, Atiq Ahmed, Mafia Don Atiq Ahmed's son, and also Mohammad Ghulam. Exclusive images that you see first on India Today. This is the Jhansi encounter spot. This exact spot, Akshita, is right next to Badagaon and Chirgaon area. There is Pariksha Dam. So this is that area where the encounter took place. And for the past 48 days, Akshita, the anti-terror squad and the special task force of the Uttar Pradesh police were tracking every movement of Asad Ahmed. You saw the brazen manner in which Umesh Pal was killed in broad daylight. These mafia dons, according to the Uttar Pradesh police, were fearless, no fear of the law. And that is when Guddu Muslim was hurling bombs. Ghulam Muhammad came out of that shop and was firing, as was Asad, Atiq Ahmed's favorite son. The younger and the favorite son of Atiq Ahmed was firing at point-blank range, chasing and killing Umesh Pal, the eyewitness in the Raju Pal murder investigations. And this is where the Uttar Pradesh police were tasked by the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to go all out and neutralize the mafia. You remember, Akshita, on the floor of the Uttar Pradesh Assembly, Yogi Adityanath had said, mafiaon ko mitti mein mila denge. And perhaps the image that India Today viewers are watching right now shows or is symbolic of the mafia being neutralized in Uttar Pradesh. Literally mitti mein mila diya mafia ko. And this is something that Atiq Ahmed also told India Today, our colleague Samar Srivastav, Akshita, that मिट्टी में मिला दिया है हमको और अब नाक रगड़ी जा रही है जमीन में. Akshita, this image symbolizes the action against mafia in Uttar Pradesh.
A brazen celebration now happening of this encounter, with these kind of comments being made by the BJP, by family members as well. But these images right now show you exactly what happened. It gives you a sense of exactly what played out that led to the encounter of Asad Ahmed as well as Ghulam. You see both of them, their bodies strewn with a bike in between. In both their hands, both of their right hands, you see in fact pistols locked in their hands. And the police say that they had sophisticated weapons with them, Gaurav. They fired at the cops, at the state task force that had reached there, and that's why personnel were forced to fire back. So these images show both of their bodies lying there next to a bike, perhaps, and that's something we'll get confirmation from the police on, that they were trying to flee from that spot or on that bike. They both have weapons in their hands, and that's what the police say. They say that they tried to get them, to nab them alive, but there was no chance because they started firing at the personnel.
You're absolutely right, Akshita. That's the information that officials in Uttar Pradesh Police Special Task Force have told India Today, that their aim was to catch especially Asad Ahmed alive, because He was the heir apparent of Atiq Ahmed's mafia empire. He was the man who was spearheading the gang once again, along with his mother, according to the Uttar Pradesh police, Shaista Parveen. And this is the time that the Uttar Pradesh police decided, having been tasked by the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, to neutralize the threat, and that's exactly what they did. So this is the Badagaon and Chirgaon area of Jhansi. There is a Pariksha dam. Near this dam, the information was that these people are hiding and they're repeatedly changing their location. So there were two things that worked in favor of the Uttar Pradesh police. One, they had access to technical intelligence, and two, human intelligence. So they put human intelligence and technical intelligence together is what officials tell us. We are still waiting for an official word. You know, Asad Ahmed, the reward on him had been increased to 5 lakh rupees. The fact that he had succeeded in evading the police for 48 days and counting. The police say twice in the past they'd reached very close to him. They realized he'd gone to Meerut, he'd come to the national capital in Delhi, he'd gone to some other places, and he escaped. He escaped, just by the skin of his teeth in at least two different locations. But this time his luck ran out when there was an encounter and he was neutralized, police claim, in retaliatory firing.
There were 3 weeks and more than that he's been missing. February 24th is the date that he's been missing since. He went absconding. He was on the run despite repeated appeals, refused to surrender before the police. But this is a larger message that's going out to the likes of Atiq Ahmed as well, that nobody who was a part of the killing of Umesh Pal will be spared right now. They will all be tracked down. Remember that there are many other accused, including Atiq Ahmed's wife, Shaista Parveen, who are missing right now, who are absconding. They will be watching these images and they'll be very worried. So this is a message going across to them to also surrender. Right now, there will be questions being asked of the UP police on whether the due process of law was followed, especially because of this encounter that's broken out and questions that opposition has raised repeatedly of encounter Raj in Uttar Pradesh. But the information that's trickling in right now, the sequence of events, as it were, based on what the cops have said, is that these two, Ghulam as well as Asad Ahmed, were spotted right, in fact, in Jhansi. They tried to take cover in a dam, in a small dam between two police stations when they were cornered by the police. They had weapons with them, which you see in these pictures as well. In their right hands, they're gripping arms, they're gripping guns. They tried to shoot at the state task force personnel who were present there, and that's when the personnel also retaliated. It wasn't the retaliation, the exchange of fire, that both Asad as well as Ghulam were killed. This is the official version that the Uttar Pradesh police, that the STF is putting out right now. You can see these images. There's a bike in between. Perhaps they were attempting to flee from that spot, get away. There were a lot of reports that suggested that Asad Ahmed had made his way all the way to Nepal. Clearly, he was hiding in Uttar Pradesh. There will be questions of what kind of shield, what kind of protection, patronage that he was receiving, that since February 24th right up to now, till April 13th, he managed to remain in hiding. But for no long, not in fact anymore, because the Uttar Pradesh police tracked him down, traced him and Ghulam down. And let me remind you that 2 other shooters involved in the Umesh Pal case have already been killed, were also killed in similar encounters that broke out. Gaurav, from these images right now, the Uttar Pradesh police did tell us that these 2 were also heavily armed, that they started firing at the police force, at the personnel present there, and that's what led to this encounter.
You're absolutely right. The police said they were armed. In fact, if I take you back to 2 images which are very crucial in this case, one of that actual encounter of Umesh Pal, the brazenness with which these mafia in Uttar Pradesh, there were CCTV cameras there, and at multiple locations, they overtook Umesh Pal's car, stopped the car, shot at and killed a police personal security officer, shot at and killed Umesh Pal, chased him into a lane and shot him dead, repeatedly firing at him. There was another guy who's still absconding called Guddu Bambaz. That Guddu Bambaz is still to be caught. Shaista Parveen, Asad Ahmed's mother and Atiq Ahmed's wife, She's still absconding, as are some others. Now, from what I've been told by the Uttar Pradesh Police Special Task Force, multiple teams were formed. There were teams who were going after these people. So there's a separate team that's working on Shaista Parveen. There's a separate team that's working on Guddu Bambas. And there was a separate team that was working. So you had the anti-terror squad, you had the special task force, you had the local police. Multiple teams had been formed. They were also taking help from central agencies, technical intelligence, surveillance, all of that, along with human intelligence, was being applied to trail them. And that is how you remember those CCTV images. Once again, we were the first on India Today to give out those CCTV images when these people were collecting money from their relatives. They came and friends. They came to Meerut. They came to Delhi. Police say they were hot on their heels and just about missed them when they managed to escape. But not this time. This time their luck ran out. When the police had intelligence, they went there, challenged them, asked them to surrender. They were fired at and they fired back, killing both these people. The kind of weapons that they had, what else was recovered from there? We are still waiting to hear from the Uttar Pradesh police, because these are the first images that we are getting to you here, Akshita, with the Uttar Pradesh police very, very firmly going after these mafia. After Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said, mafia ko mitti mein mila denge.
Okay, Gaurav, just stay with me on the left of your screens. These are images from outside the Prayagraj court. You can see that there's a huge crowd that's gathered there. Atiq Ahmed is going to be brought out any moment now. He broke down in court. He was sobbing. And let me just tell you right now, the images that our reporters described from within the court is that Atiq Ahmed, a gangster, a dreaded don, broke down in court, was sobbing the moment the news came in that his son, Asad Ahmed, was shot dead in an encounter. His brother Ashraf was also with him in the courtroom, was in a panic, didn't know what to do, didn't know how to react. There was a general buzz in the courtroom the moment the news broke. Atiq Ahmed was sobbing. He's going to be brought out of court any moment now. Remember that he is also facing a case, multiple cases really, and including the latest of the Umesh Pal killing, in which his son was also wanted. Asad Ahmed, his third son, many say his close aides refer to him as his favorite son, who was based in Lucknow, who had in fact pulled off this entire kill Umesh Pal plot, has been shot dead in an encounter. Samarth is joining us live with more details. Samarth, we're hearing any moment now Atiq Ahmed will be brought out of court. His son has now been killed. Clearly the news is tightening on his entire family, on all of his aides who were involved in the killing of Umesh Pal in broad daylight.
Asad is being killed along with Ghulam, but it's going to be very crucial how things will go for UP police now, because Yogi government from the day one has clearly said mitti mein mila denge, and that's what they are doing. I'm present at the Umesh Pal residence out here, and if you will see the visuals out here, I'll try to show you the visuals out here, that the policemen, the cops out here are sitting, but the family is happy over this particular update. The mother and wife of Umesh Pal are very happy over the particular update, though they went inside, but the cops out here are stationed since those particular months, and it has become very crucial now how the other shooters will be killed, and also in a way you can say that the life of Ashraf and Atiq Ahmed seems to be in danger now, because Ashraf had clearly said few days back that a senior officer told him that he might also be killed during the passage, during his entry to Prayagraj or his entry to Bareilly. So that was the message earlier by the police, but now it has become very crucial, because now Asad and Atiq Ahmed are the prime accused in this particular case after Asad. Earlier it was all about Asad, because Asad was clearly seen in a way gunning down Umesh Pal in this particular residence, outside this particular residence. But now all eyes are on CJM court regarding the police remand, whether police will get the custody for 14 days of Atiq Ahmed and Ashraf, or it will be around 7 days. That's going to be very crucial. But what we are getting from sources, they would get this custody, and if they gets the custody, it is very
the live images right now on our screens. Atiq Ahmed being brought out on the left side of your screens. Sea of security deployed there, and he's walking in that black kurta, the trademark white turban that he has on his head. He's been walked out, escorted out. No emotion really seen on his face in the images that we're showing you right now. Atiq Ahmed has been produced in court, being taken out as we speak, will be taken back to the Naini jail. And along with him, his brother Ashraf is also in court. We're awaiting those images of Ashraf being taken out. But let's in fact play that sequence out for you once again, where Atiq Ahmed being brought out of the court with security all around him is being moved once again out of the court. Huge crowds that have gathered all across to catch a glimpse of Atiq Ahmed, particularly with the news coming in of his son being shot dead in an encounter. He broke down in court, was inconsolable, was sobbing inside the court. Now you see, Atiq Ahmed walking out, his face glum, but a sea of security deployed there to ensure that nothing untoward can happen. Atiq Ahmed has walked out of the Prayagraj jail. We'll get you updates of what's really happened in that crucial court hearing as well, on whether he is remanded to police custody or not. These are the images that we're showing to you right now of from that encounter site. You can see that both of the accused, Ghulam in black and Asad Ahmed in that white kurta and white pajama, both of them in their right hand had guns which they were holding on to. And you can see in that particular image that we're showing to you right now, in white was Asad Ahmed, Atiq Ahmed's son. In black was Ghulam, the other accused, the other wanted in the Umesh Pal killing case. Both had weapons in their hand right next to a bike. So it looks like maybe they were trying to flee from that spot. These images are coming in from the encounter spot, even as Atiq Ahmed right now has been taken out of the Prayagraj court. He said this before. He said, I'm extremely scared for my life. I'm scared for my family. And that's also because of the warning that came in from Yogi Adityanath. Let's cut across to live reactions that are coming in from the Uttar Pradesh police.
दे रहे थे यूपी एसटीएफ के एडीजी कह रहे थे कि दोनों को पहले वार्निंग दी गई, उसके बाद जब दोनों की तरफ से फायरिंग हुई तब जवाबी फायरिंग में दोनों मार गिराए गए. एसओपी का पालन किया गया.
There's live reactions coming in, but the UP police maintained that all necessary protocol was followed, that Asad Ahmed was given a warning along with Ghulam. They were told to surrender, but they started firing. They were heavily armed. They had sophisticated weapons with them, started firing at the police. That led to an exchange of fire, and in that exchange is how Asad Ahmed as well as Ghulam, as you see in those pictures there, they were shot dead. You can see weapons in their hands. You can see both the bodies strewn on either side of a bike. Perhaps they were on that bike trying to get away, but we hear that they were trying to protect themselves under a dam between two police stations, which is when this encounter broke out. On the left of your screens, images from the Prayagraj court. Chaos that's broken out there as crowds have gathered in large numbers. Atiq Ahmed has been taken out briefly. We're not sure if the hearing has concluded. We'll check with our reporters on that, or whether he's been remanded to police custody or not. But these are the updates that are coming in right now. Let's cut across live to what's happening outside the court. That are coming in right now. Samarth Srivastava is joining us live with more details on the Samarth. Already lots of political reactions coming in. The SP saying that encounter is not justice. There is no sense of justice when something like this happens. But at the same time, you've got family members of Umesh Pal saying that this is what we wanted. Mitti mein mila diya is the comment that's coming in from the family members after Yogi Adityanath had shot off that clear warning to gangsters. What's happening right now in Prayagraj? What's happening in the court? Atiq Ahmed has been brought out.
It was not a day one thing. Umesh Pal family from day one was saying that they want the killers to be killed, and they did not want anything else, and they had trust on Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. And when Asad and Ghulam killed, and or you can say gunned down in an encounter by UP STF, now the family is happy. They see it as a justice, though they are not fully satisfied. They feel the other three persons, the other three accused in the shootout of entire Umesh Pal case, they also want these other three persons to be gunned down by UP police or UP STF, and that is the way of justice for the family of Umesh Pal. Though it has been said by Samajwadi Party that it is not the justice, that encounter killing is not right. But what is on a whole, the family of Umesh Pal is quite happy with this particular thing. Keshav Prasad Maurya, the UP Deputy CM, also reacted to this particular thing and clearly said that he patted the back of UP STF Jawans who were there on the side, while Amitabh Yash, the chief of UP STF, clearly said that yes, it is a good thing, and they were pressed to kill them in an encounter because they tried to arrest Asad and Ghulam in Jhansi, but when cross-firing happened, they were pressed to gun them down, else the cops who were in that particular joint operation with the UP police could have been harmed by Asad because they were keeping some weapons with them. So this is the update coming in, but now it will also become a political agenda in Uttar Pradesh, which Samajwadi Party started to questioning. Also Congress will jump in with questioning the encounter killing. But Yogi Adityanath, as he said in the assembly, mitti mein mila denge. He is on his words, and that's what Atiq Ahmed was worried yesterday when he spoke to India Today TV, where he clearly said that I have already been submerged in the dust. Already mitti mein mil chuka hoon. These were the words of Atiq Ahmed. But now when he heard the news about the demise of his son Asad, he clearly broke down. He fell down in the court. He started crying. So these were the emotions from the gangster, because he was the one who brought his son Asad in this world of crime, and that's why Atiq Ahmed and Ashraf would be responsible for the killing of his son Asad. So that's the scenario out here, but I'm currently reporting from Umesh Pal residence, because this is a place where the entire thing happened, because outside this particular residence we saw the footages, we saw the CCTV visuals where Umesh Pal was pressed to run inside the house, and when he was, because it was a narrow lane between this particular house, and when he tried to run, around 5 shooters were there, where Guddu Muslim was carrying bombs. He hurled the bombs on the constables, on the gunners, on the back of gunners, on Umesh Pal. There was no chance of them to be survived. And when Asad saw that Umesh Pal, even after being hit by a bullet, could survive, he chased him to 1 or 2 houses in the narrow lane. And when he saw that Umesh Pal has died, then only Asad, along with other 4 shooters, left this particular place. Though they were aware about the CCTV footages, they were aware about that they are doing this in the proper shopping complex area of Prayagraj, proper rushy area of Prayagraj. They were also aware about each and everything. Despite that, they did not use the mask to cover their faces during this particular shootout, because they wanted to give a message that Atiq Ahmed is still alive, and his fear and the fear of his gang members must remain alive in Prayagraj and Uttar Pradesh. But when assembly happened the very next day, Yogi Adityanath said that mitti mein mila denge, and since then UP police did not stop, be it the bulldozer action, be it the action on the ground or in the form of encounters or any other thing. Things carried on, though opposition parties would raise questions over the same. But what we are seeing out here, I would ask my cameraman Neeraj to show you a few visuals out here, that you will see the policemen out here stationed outside the house of Umesh Pal. So the family, the wife and mother of Umesh Pal are inside this particular house after briefing the media out here. But this house is happy. The members of this family are happy today, because this is something they were expecting. Then
दिस वॉज द प्रेयर. पुलिस फोर्स भी तैनात गया. बताया जा रहा है कि यहाँ पर चेकिंग की जा रही थी. चेकिंग के दौरान बाइक सवार 2 युवक नजर आए. तब उनको रोकने का प्रयास किया गया तो पता चला कि ये अतीक अहमद के बेटे समेत 2 उनका साथ शूटर भी शामिल था, जिसमें जब उन्हें रोकने का प्रयास किया गया तो उन्होंने पुलिस टीम पर और जो एसटीएफ टीम पर है उस पर हमला कर दिया था, जिसमें एसटीएफ की टीम ने बचाव करते हुए फायरिंग कर दी, जिसमें दोनों जो अतीक अहमद का बेटे समेत 2 लोग हैं जो ढेर हो गए हैं. इनको फोर्स में जो आप देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पर हम आपको वो स्थान भी दिखाएंगे जहाँ पर एनकाउंटर हुआ है. आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर जो नजदीक जो कुछ दूरी पर आप देख सकते हैं एसटीएफ भी खड़ी हुई है, पुलिस फोर्स भी खड़ा हुआ है. और जहाँ पर जो हुआ है वो हम दिखाएंगे आपको कि वहाँ पर जो जिस गाड़ी से वो जा रहे थे वो गाड़ी कौन सी है और कहाँ खड़ी. आप देखिए नीचे जो रखी हुई है वो गाड़ी यहाँ पर है. आप देखिएगा ये गाड़ी वही है जिस पर जो अतीक अहमद का बेटा जो है वो जा रहा था। आप देखिएगा यहाँ पर मुठभेड़ हुई है और कुछ दूरी पर वो भी दिखाएंगे। आप देखिएगा जो सामने दिख रहा है तमंचा पड़ा हुआ है, वो तमंचा भी देखिएगा। जो असलहा है, जिस असलहा से टीम पर हमला किया गया था, वो असलहा भी दिखाया गया है। यहाँ पर भागते समय एसटीएफ ने उन पर हमला किया है। आप देखिएगा, फिर आपको दिखाएंगे। देखिए अब साफ तौर पर देखा जा रहा है तमंचा पड़ा हुआ है, जो नीचे बाइक पड़ी हुई है। यहाँ पर एनकाउंटर किया गया है। ये एसटीएफ की बहुत बड़ी सफलता है। हाँ, माफी।
So that's the report that you're watching, filed from Jhansi. This is where the encounter took place earlier today. Those images that you see on your television screen, that is Atiq Ahmed, Mafia Don Atiq Ahmed's son, who's been shot dead in an encounter. The two images that you see on your television screen, one is that Prayagraj court. Atiq Ahmed was in court and he broke down. The second image that you see, that's the image that is just coming in. That's a reporter on ground who's filing that report. Atiq Ahmed's son, Asad Ahmed, has been shot dead, as has Ghulam Mohammed.
की जा रही थी। चेकिंग के दौरान बाइक सवार 2 युवक नजर आए, तब उनको रोकने का प्रयास किया गया तो पता चला कि ये अतीक अहमद के बेटे समेत 2 उनका शार्प शूटर भी शामिल था, जिसमें जब उन्हें रोकने का प्रयास किया गया तो उन्होंने पुलिस टीम पर और जो एसटीएफ टीम पर है उस पर हमला कर दिया था, जिसमें एसटीएफ की टीम ने बचाव करते हुए फायरिंग कर दी, जिसमें दोनों जो अतीक अहमद का बेटे समेत 2 लोग हैं जो ढेर हो गए हैं। इनको फोर्स में जो आप देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पर हम आपको वो स्थान भी दिखाएंगे जहाँ पर एनकाउंटर हुआ है। आप देख
सर, आप ही का तो गुडवर्क कर रहे हैं ना। बॉडी इसी एम्बुलेंस में है, ये वही स्थान है जगह बता रहे हैं जहाँ एनकाउंटर हुआ है। ये जो इसी तरह मैं चाहूँगा यहाँ बॉडी जो है ये देखिए। चलो बैठो।
Waiting the first reaction of the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Remember, it was Yogi Adityanath who had said mafia ko mitti mein mila denge, and we are getting his first reaction after this encounter. Yogi Adityanath has congratulated the Uttar Pradesh Special Task Force team and the UP police team that was involved in this encounter. Yogi Adityanath's first reaction to the encounter has just come in. Remember, it was Yogi Adityanath who made it very clear, mafia ko mitti mein mila denge. And that is exactly what is happening in Uttar Pradesh. In fact, Atiq Ahmed had also said that to India Today, Samar Srivastav, yesterday when he was being brought to Prayagraj, ki hame mitti mein mila diya gaya hai. But clearly, the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister wants the UP STF and the ATS. So there is the Special Task Force and there is the Anti-Terror Squad. He wants them to take this to its logical conclusion. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has congratulated the Special Task Force team that was involved in the encounter of Asad Ahmed, the favorite son of Atiq Ahmed, the heir apparent of his empire, of his crime empire. And Asad Ahmed has been shot dead in an encounter. What Uttar Pradesh police sources are telling India Today, they had set up a checkpoint. They had intelligence that Asad Ahmed and Ghulam Mohammed was the second shooter in that case. That was the intelligence that they had, that Asad Ahmed and Ghulam Mohammed are in that area of Jhansi between 2 police stations. They were hiding there. So they set up a checkpoint. According to the Uttar Pradesh police, when they were at the checkpoint, they saw a motorcycle approaching. Multiple vehicles in the past had also been checked. They had asked those vehicles to stop. This motorcycle was also told to stop. But then those on the motorcycle, according to the Uttar Pradesh police, opened fire at the police, and taking cover, the police claim they fired back, killing both Ghulam Mohammed and Asad Ahmed, the favorite son of mafia don turned politician Atiq Ahmed. Asad Ahmed has been shot dead, the man you see on your television screen, as has Ghulam Mohammed, the shooter. We'll also show you the images of the Umesh Pal murder, how brazenly these men had overtaken Umesh Pal's car, stopped in front of it, Guddu Bambas came out hurling bombs. Okay, and the image that you see on your television screen is of that brave Deputy Superintendent of Police of the Special Task Force and the Superintendent of Police of the STF who carried out the operation. Yogi Adityanath has appreciated the role not just of the UP STF but also of the DGP. And these are very brave men. Do keep in mind, for the past 48 hours, they've been hot on the heels of Asad Ahmed and of Ghulam Mohammed. That was one team. There's another team that is tracking Shaista Parveen, that is Atiq Ahmed's wife, and Guddu Bambas. Guddu Bambas was the man who was hurling bombs. I quickly want to cut across to India Today. Samarth Srivastav joining us with more on this team. And Samarth, you've been tracking this team. You've been tracking the STF and the anti-terror squad. Both the Special Task Force twice came very close to nabbing Asad Ahmed. This time they succeeded in neutralizing him. Okay, give me a moment as I try and re-establish that link. I must also tell you Umesh Pal's widow and Umesh Pal's mother. Remember, Umesh Pal was the eyewitness in the Raju Pal murder case. Umesh Pal was shot dead in broad daylight. Umesh Pal's widow had spoken to us here at India Today. I'll get you more on that, but let's cut across and listen in to former UP Minister Siddharthnath Singh.
The action has been taken exactly in that fashion. And it's a big achievement. Finally, the justice has been delivered. And to the family members of Umesh Pal, to many those who have suffered under the hands of Atiq Ahmed and their gangs, today everybody will be relieved and praying that they keep getting a government like BJP in Uttar Pradesh. Now UP has finally seen end of mafia and the Don and the gangster Raj, which used to exist during the Samajwadi Party and BSP. देखिए, मुख्यमंत्री जी ने असेंबली के अंदर कहा था कि माफिया और डॉन को हम मिट्टी में मिला देंगे, और उस दिशा में कथनी और करनी में कोई अंतर नहीं है। ये भी साबित होता है जो मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कहा था वो करके दिखाया। उत्तर प्रदेश की भाजपा सरकार ने वही कार्य किया जिसके लिए वो संकल्प उनका था कि हम क्रिमिनल्स के प्रति जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति रखेंगे। आज उसी दिशा में कार्रवाई हुई है, बहुत बड़ी कार्रवाई है। जो समाजवादी पार्टी और बीएसपी मजाक उड़ाती थी, आज उनसे पूछा जाएगा कि आप क्यों नहीं कर पाते थे। ये उस समय भी घूमते थे, आप तो टिकट देते थे। कहीं जस्टिस और न्याय दिलवाने का कोई काम कर सकता है तो भाजपा की सरकार कर सकती है, और उस दिशा पे ये कार्य हुआ है। तो इसलिए उत्तर प्रदेश एसटीएफ और विशेष रूप से मुख्यमंत्री जी को बहुत बहुत बधाई और हम सभी की तरफ से धन्यवाद।
So that is Siddharthnath Singh saying what Yogi Adityanath promised on the floor of the house, mafia ko mitti mein mila denge, that is actually happening on ground. Mafia don turned neta Atiq Ahmed's son Asad has been neutralized. Let's quickly cut across and listen in to the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath.
जिस अतीक अहमद के खिलाफ पीड़ित परिवारों ने मुकदमा दर्ज कराया उसके परिवार के खिलाफ, वो समाजवादी पार्टी के द्वारा पोषित माफिया है और उसकी कमर को तोड़ने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है। और फिर मैं कहता हूं इसे हाउस में कह रहा हूं, इस माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे। सरकार किसी है, सरकार किसी है, दखलत में हो, ये माफिया है, इनको मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम करेंगे। अपराधी आप लोग हैं, अपराधी को भी दूर कर।
So this was the February 25th reaction of the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, very clearly said mafia ko mitti mein mila denge. This was when he was being taunted about mafia Raj in Uttar Pradesh, and rightly so by the opposition, when the opposition was saying that in broad daylight, and we'll show you those images, in broad daylight, eyewitness in the Raju Pal murder case, Umesh Pal, was shot dead. And these gangsters, these mafia in Prayagraj, they came in vehicles, overtook Umesh Pal's car. I'll tell you that story and I'll get you those images.
उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस ने और उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने 5-5 लाख रुपए का इनाम घोषित किया था। पूरी घटना को किस तरह से शूटिंग की गई थी, किस तरह से बॉम्ब्स फेंके गए थे, इस पूरी घटना को आप सभी ने जो सीसीटीवी फुटेजेस जो प्राप्त हुए थे उसको पूरे देश को दिखाया था। आज फाइनली इनको हम लोगों ने ट्रैक डाउन करने में सफलता प्राप्त की है और जो इन द एनसुइंग एनकाउंटर दे हैव बीन गन डाउन।
सर क्या क्या बरामदगी हुई है, क्योंकि ये लंबा ऑपरेशन था, और कितनी टीम जो आपकी इसमें जो है अंजाम दिया इसको?
इसमें एसटीएफ ने पूरी ताकत लगा रखी थी। लगभग सभी टीम्स जो एसटीएफ में है वो इस केस में के किसी न किसी क्रिमिनल पर या किसी न किसी एंगल पे काम कर रही थी। आज फाइनली एक सफलता हमें मिली है जिसमें 2 अपराधी मारे गए।
सर इसका लीड कैसे मिला, क्योंकि आपकी टीम लगातार गश्त दे रही थी, बार बार वो चकमा दे रहा था, मोबाइल बंद था, लोकेशन मिल नहीं रही थी, लीड कहां से मिला?
लीड्स के बारे में हम यहाँ बात नहीं करेंगे, सफलता मिली ये इम्पोर्टेंट है।
सर आगे की कार्रवाई को लेकर के, क्योंकि अभी बाकी लोग भी हैं जिन पे गिरफ्तार भी होना बाकी है, उसके लिए किस तरीके का?
ये हमारी कार्रवाई अभी समाप्त नहीं हुई है। ये तो इसके पहले भी कुछ लोगों को गिरफ्तार हमने किया था, अब आगे भी कार्रवाई चलती रहेगी।
सर कहाँ भागने की फिराक में था असद और उसका साथी?
ये हम उससे पूछताछ नहीं कर पाए, इसलिए हमें जानकारी नहीं।
बिल्कुल साफ तौर पर पूरे घटनाक्रम को लेकर के यूपीएसएफ के चीफ ने बातचीत की है, और सीधे तरीके से अगर देखा जाए तो कहीं ना कहीं बड़ा मामला और कहीं ना कहीं एक बड़ी जीत के तौर पर आप ये सामने आ रहा है। सरकार भी कह रही है और यूपीएसएफ ने आखिरकार उन दोनों को ढेर कर दिया जिसका दावा किया जा रहा था। लखनऊ से
So this is the big story. That was Amitabh Yash. Amitabh Yash is the Additional Director General of the Uttar Pradesh Police. He's heading the Special Task Force and he has been for quite some time. From what sources in Uttar Pradesh Police are telling India Today, there are multiple teams that had been formed right from the day of Umesh Pal encounter, the day, Umesh Pal killing. Right from that day, multiple teams had been formed, and they fanned out. The information we are getting was that specific superintendents of police and DSPs and inspectors had been tasked to go after specific intelligence, go to their sources, get to know where, for example, was Asad Ahmed hiding. They had found out that Asad Ahmed and Mohammad Ghulam, the other shooter, they were hanging out together, they were hiding together. Based on intelligence, they had almost nabbed them in Meerut a couple of days ago. You recall, India Today was the first channel to get you those images at that businessman's house in Meerut, where Asad Ahmed and Mohammad Ghulam collected some money. Then information was that they'd come to the national capital. Then information was that they were trying to get to the Nepal border. One team of the special task force went to the Nepal border. Another team of the special task force was in Nepal. Their effort was to catch them and bring them to justice. When we spoke to Uttar Pradesh STF officers, they told us very clearly that our aim is to nab them and bring them to justice. In this instance, from preliminary information that we've been able to gather, and more information will be given out, because right now the teams are briefing Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Once a report is submitted, there would be a press conference with more information coming out. We are told that the police are hot on the heels of Shaista Parveen and Guddu Bambaz. Guddu Bambaz and Shaista Parveen are still absconding in this case, and you heard Amitabh Yash there talking about how this is just one operation. There are multiple simultaneous operations that are going on even as we speak. We will once again try and listen in to Amitabh Yash, but that's the image that we are showing you. There are 2 images, and when you look at these images, whether it is of Mohammad Ghulam was the man who was wearing that cap inside that store. He came out of the store firing the moment Umesh Pal's vehicle was spotted in Prayagraj. And what was the aim? From the individuals who've been arrested so far in this case, remember there have been 2 encounters already, 2 individuals have been killed. This is the third set of encounter where the man you see on your television screen, Asad Ahmed, Atiq Ahmed's favorite son and heir apparent. He was to inherit that empire. This entire game plan was Shaista Parveen, Atiq Ahmed and Asad Ahmed working together, according to sources in the UPSTF, because they wanted to reestablish their mafia empire, not just across Prayagraj, but across eastern Uttar Pradesh. And they were trying to expand towards western Uttar Pradesh in the run-up to 2024 general elections. That's where they wanted to show their real clout. And what better way, according to Uttar Pradesh police, than to
ensure that an encounter is that a eyewitness is neutralized, and there would be fear, and that is why Guddu Bambas was hurling bombs. Samarth Srivastav joins us once again, and Samarth, you've spoken to Umesh Pal's widow, you've spoken to his mother. What is their reaction the moment they heard that at least Asad Ahmed and Ghulam Mohammed, the two shooters, have been neutralized today?
Well, Gaurav, I must say they are way too happy with the current updates coming in, where Asad and Ghulam have been gunned down by the Uttar Pradesh Special Task Force. That's a big update coming in, because this was such a demand by the Umesh family. When I first interviewed them days back, they were clearly saying that they did not want any court hearing, they did not want any arresting or detention. They just want the killing of those shooters who killed Umesh Pal. These were the words of Umesh Pal's mother and his wife. So this is what happening, and at that time only in the assembly, UP CM Yogi Adityanath clearly said that mitti mein mila denge, and then Atiq Ahmed, while speaking to India Today TV, said mitti mein mil gaye. So he accepted his defeat because he had known that something like this is likely to happen, because Uttar Pradesh police was raiding at various locations, not just in Uttar Pradesh but also towards the borders of Nepal and Bangladesh, and that was the thing what we got, because as per the sources, Asad moved to Delhi via Meerut and various places before reaching out to this particular Jhansi. And UP STF chief Amitabh Yash, while speaking to India Today TV, clearly said that they wanted to arrest both of these gangsters, but when they in crossfiring, they were pressed to gun them down to avoid any killing of UP cop. That was the words of Amitabh Yash, and that's why UP CM Yogi Adityanath has also, when the entire report of encounter was submitted to UP CM Yogi Adityanath, he in a way congratulated the entire SCF team for that purpose, because it was something which happened after the words of Yogi
Let's quickly cut across and listen into Union Minister Giriraj Singh.
या उत्तर प्रदेश छोड़ो, नीतीश कुमार उत्तर प्रदेश से सीख लेनी चाहिए। वहां की जनता अपने को सुरक्षित महसूस करती, नीतीश कुमार के बिहार में जनता अपने को असुरक्षित महसूस करती, और इसीलिए जोगी जी से नीतीश कुमार को सीख लेनी चाहिए लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के लिए।
इसको लेकर कई सवाल उठा रहे हैं, टीएमसी के महुआ मोइत्रा ने भी सवाल उठाए हैं, कई विपक्षी नेता भी इस पर सवाल उठा रहे हैं कि आखिर ये किस तरीके का इनकाउंटर है, जानबूझ के किया गया इनकाउंटर है, क्या कहिएगा इस पर?
जानबूझ के थोड़े होता है, मैं नहीं समझता कि कोई, लेकिन मैं इतना जानता हूं कि नीतीश जी को उत्तर प्रदेश से निश्चित सबक लेनी चाहिए।
दूसरा सवाल सर, नीतीश कुमार लगातार दिल्ली में विपक्षी नेताओं से मिल रहे हैं, ये आ रही है कि जो भी विपक्षी दल आपस में जिनके मतभेद हैं उन सबको।
So Giriraj Singh very clearly saying that the Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar needs to take a lesson from the book of the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. And we will listen in to Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath very clearly, very calmly on the floor of the Uttar Pradesh police saying, mafia ko mitti mein mila denge. And that is exactly what the Uttar Pradesh police, at least that is what UP police officers are telling India Today. That's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to ensure that they achieve a mafia-free Uttar Pradesh goal, a task set by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. In fact, when India Today's Samarth Srivastav, my colleague, spoke to Atiq Ahmed, while Atiq Ahmed was being brought from Gujarat Sabarmati prison to the Prayagraj prison, en route, he said, "Humko to mitti mein mila diya hai." Mafia, imagine, Atiq Ahmed, once upon a time, was one of the most feared mafia dons, not just of eastern Uttar Pradesh, but across Uttar Pradesh. But look at those images today. There are 4 images on your television screens right now. Ghulam Mohammed and Asad being shot dead. In fact, according to the STF, the weapon still in their hand. You can see a pistol, a firearm in his hand. The second image is of Asad Ahmed earlier. According to UPSTF, he is the heir apparent of this empire. The third image is of Atiq Ahmed in Prayagraj, where he was brought to court in the Umesh Pal murder investigations case. He apparently collapsed, he broke down and he cried when he learnt that his favorite son had been killed in an encounter. Also try and show you what this crime empire looked like. The fourth image, of course, like we were telling you, was of Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath very clearly saying that mafia ko mitti mein mila denge. Now, what is that mafia? You're seeing those images on your television screen. This is the family of Atiq Ahmed. The empire, the mafia empire, from extortion to murder to attempted murder, to political crimes. These people have been allegedly involved in these cases for decades in Uttar Pradesh. So you have Atiq Ahmed, who heads that empire. He's a gangster turned political leader in Uttar Pradesh. The second image that you see on your television screen is Shaista Parveen. Imagine she too wanted to join politics. She wanted to contest the elections as to be mayor of Prayagraj. She is currently absconding. Then, equally important in this crime empire or the mafia empire is Ashraf. Ashraf is Atiq Ahmed's brother. He's currently lodged in Bareilly jail, but also brought to Prayagraj in connection with this investigation because this gang operates as one unit. Let me also tell you about Aisha Noori. Now, she's also absconding. Aisha Noori, according to the Uttar Pradesh Police Special Task Force, is a very important cog in this wheel because away from camera glare, she too plays a very important role in getting the nuts and bolts together. Then, of course, there is Atiq Ahmed's favorite son, Asad Ahmed, who's just been shot dead between Badagaon and Chirgaon. These are areas near Jhansi, which also has the Pariksha Dam. So these criminals perhaps thought, these suspects thought they'll be safe there. They're accused in the Umesh Pal murder case. They thought they'd be safe there, but based on intelligence, the police already had a checkpoint, a naka in this place. Then there is also Ali. Ali is Atiq Ahmed's other son who's currently lodged with him in the Prayagraj prison. And of course, Umar. Umar is Atiq Ahmed's son who's currently in Lucknow jail. So those who are in jail are alive. Those who are out of jail, the police are trying to ensure that they are brought to justice. You heard Amitabh Yash, the ADGP of the Special Task Force. But before I get you more on the story, you must listen in to Umesh Pal's widow, the mother, the family. How are they reacting? Because remember, they too saw on CCTV cameras how Umesh Pal was shot dead in broad daylight in Prayagraj. Listen in.
पहले तो मैं माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी को धन्यवाद देती हूँ जो उन्होंने आज इतना बड़ा फैसला को अंजाम दिया। उन्होंने जो किया है बहुत अच्छा किया है। उन्होंने अपनी बेटी का सुहाग के कातिलों को सजा दिलाई। मैं उनका बार बार आभार व्यक्त करूंगी कि वो पिता समान सब है। उन्होंने जो किया बहुत अच्छा किया है। इंसाफ तो हुआ ही है, लेकिन आगे भी रास्ता इसी तरह मैं मांग करूंगी कि इंसाफ आगे भी दे। और जो पुलिस कर्मचारी हैं उन्होंने बहुत सहयोग किया। बड़ी प्रतिष्ठा के बाद, बड़ी मशक्कत के बाद इस तरह का सुनने को मिला।
आप लोग एनकाउंटर की मांग कर रही थी, अब किनका एनकाउंटर आप देखना चाहती हैं? कौन लोग हैं जिनका और एनकाउंटर होना चाहिए?
वो मैं प्रशासन पे छोड़ा है। प्रशासन मुझे न्याय दिला रही है। वो देर में ही चाहिए, लेकिन देंगे तो प्रशासन ही हमको न्याय दिला रहा है।
उसने मेरे बेटे को खरेआम गोली यहाँ से मारी है और हम लोग देख रहे हैं जो पीछे गनर बैठा गाड़ी से उतर नहीं पाया, उसको इसने राइफल से मारा था। तो कम से कम उन लोगों की श्रद्धांजलि आज कुछ मिली है। बस मेरा यही कहना है कि वो तो हम कह रहे हैं ना कि मुख्यमंत्री जी के ऊपर और पुलिस विभाग के ऊपर हमको पहले से भरोसा था। अब वो भरोसा आज मुझको दिखाई दिया कि मेरे बेटे के 2 हत्यारे मारे। ये 2 काउंटर हुए हैं, तो ये तो पाप किए थे, पाप के भागी थे, उसका सजा इनको आज मिला है।
So I want to quickly cut across to India Today. Samarth Srivastava for more on the story. Samarth, the family says they are satisfied. The task, Amitabh Yash, we just heard Amitabh Yash, the ADGP in Law and Order, saying the task is still unfinished because there are some who are still absconding. Apart from Shaista Parveen and Guddu Bambas, tell us who else is absconding.
Well, exactly. Guddu Bambas is still absconding, Shabir is still absconding, but Asad, who was the main conspirator, who was the main killer in this particular case, has been gunned down, and that's the major relief for not just Uttar Pradesh police but also for the Yogi government, because they were under the scanner of various opposition parties. They were questioning like when the shooters of Umesh Pal would be arrested. But now the date has come when at one hand police were looking for the remand of Atiq Ahmed and Ashraf, while on the other hand in Jhansi this encounter has taken place. It has been a clear message. We were speaking to one senior IPS officer. They clearly told that Atiq Ahmed and company uses the launch pad. Atiq was launched by killing the Chand Babu in 90s. Then in 2005 Raju Pal was killed, but it was done by Ashraf. Then Ashraf was launched in the world of crime. Now with the killing of Umesh Pal, they wanted to launch Asad also, but this time they failed miserably, be it thanks to the statement of Yogi Adityanath or the efforts of Uttar Pradesh police, and especially the UP STF force under UP STF chief Amitabh Yash. They did not stop because various questions were raised, because it has been more than a month. It was more than a month now when shooters were roaming free with 5 lakh prize on their head. So the questions were raised, but now with the killing of Asad in an encounter and Ghulam, the message is very loud and clear for such criminals and mafias in Uttar Pradesh. Whether you surrender or you will be arrested, or such thing, what happened to Asad would take place with you. And that's the reason why the criminals or mafias of Uttar Pradesh don't want to come outside the jails. Be it Atiq Ahmed is the clear example. When he was taken from Sabarmati jail, he was quite unhappy. You could have seen criminals coming out of jail with a wide smile, but he was quite tense because he knew that anytime the vehicle might get overturned. Though this did not happen because police was thinking much wider. Because with the police custody remand, it was easy. It was easier for the Uttar Pradesh police to get to the locations of the other 3 shooters who are still alive or who are still roaming free. So police remand was the major thing for the UP police, and that is later in the day no vehicle was overturned and nothing happened with Asad and Ashraf as well.
You know, later in the day we'll give a breakdown to our viewers on how these 2 suspects or these 2 accused in the Umesh Pal murder case were nabbed. We have some details. We are still waiting to cross-check some of those details. How human intelligence was mounted, how technical intelligence was mounted, how when they were repeatedly changing their SIM cards, Uttar Pradesh police was keeping abreast of all the movements, and that is how they succeeded. Amitabh Yash and his team, they've done a commendable job so far, is what senior officers of the Uttar Pradesh police are claiming as of now. But before I get you more on the story, let's quickly cut across and listen in to Amitabh Yash speaking exclusively to India Today.
आज फाइनली इनको हम लोगों ने ट्रैक डाउन करने में सफलता प्राप्त की है और जो इन द एंसुइंग एनकाउंटर दे हैव बीन गन डाउन।
सर क्या क्या बरामदगी हुई है, क्योंकि ये लंबा ऑपरेशन था, और कितनी टीम जो आपकी इसमें जो है अंजाम दिया है?
इसमें एसटीएफ ने पूरी ताकत लगा रखी थी। लगभग सभी टीम्स जो एसटीएफ में है वो इस केस में के किसी न किसी क्रिमिनल पर या किसी न किसी एंगल पे काम कर रही थी। आज फाइनली एक सफलता हमें मिली है जिसमें 2 अपराधी मारे गए।
सर इसका लीड कैसे मिला, क्योंकि आपकी टीम लगातार गश्त दे रही थी, बार बार वो चकमा दे रहा था, मोबाइल बंद था, लोकेशन मिल नहीं रही थी, लीड कहां से मिला?
लीड्स के बारे में हम यहाँ बात नहीं करेंगे, सफलता मिली ये इम्पोर्टेंट है।
सर आगे की कार्रवाई को लेकर के, क्योंकि अभी बाकी लोग भी हैं जिन पे गिरफ्तार भी होना बाकी है, उसके लिए किस तरीके का?
ये हमारी कार्रवाई अभी समाप्त नहीं हुई है। ये तो इसके पहले भी कुछ लोगों को गिरफ्तार हमने किया था, अब आगे भी कार्रवाई चलती रहेगी।
Let me now quickly get you a ground report from where this encounter took place in Jhansi near the Pariksha Dam. Listen in.
रोकने का प्रयास किया गया तो उनके पास आधुनिक हथियार थे, जिस कारण उन्होंने पुलिस एसटीएफ टीम पर हमला कर दिया। जवाबी में एसटीएफ टीम ने भी हमला किया, जिसपे कि दोनों जो अतीक अहमद का बेटा और उसका साथी है वो ढेर हो गया है। और यहाँ पर जैसे ही स्थानीय पुलिस और अधिकारियों को जानकारी हुई तो यहाँ पर मजम्मा लग सकते हैं। आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर पीछे, हमारे पीछे यहाँ पर पुलिस फोर्स खड़ा हुआ, आप देख सकते हैं। देखा, चारों तरफ फोर्स ही फोर्स तैनात हुआ है और जो फॉरेंसिक टीम है वो भी आ गई है, वो जांच कर रही है यहाँ पर अपने अपने स्तर पर। जी
So the STF team is still on ground. They will get the forensics on ground because they will have to carry out a detailed investigation. Remember, there will be some who will claim sooner than later that this was staged and this was done with ulterior motive. So the police also have to ensure that they have ensured that due process of law was followed. Now, the image that you see on your television screen is of that accused Asad with a weapon in his hand. Whether that weapon discharged a bulletin or not, we will have to see. That will be proven by a forensic report. And the moment if the forensics report says that that weapon was fired, then it shows the police fired in self-defense. We still have to wait and watch what other evidence will the police produce in this case as this encounter, as more details of this encounter come out in public domain. But the second image you see on your television screen is of mafia don turned political leader Atiq Ahmed. Apparently, a water bottle, and some argue, some insist that even a shoe was hurled at him at the Prayagraj court when he was coming out of the Prayagraj court and was being taken into this prison van. Imagine how people are now no longer scared of a mafia who earlier would threaten people from inside jail. Look at the change that is taking place. Atiq Ahmed was sent to Sabarmati jail because he brought in a businessman inside the jail in Uttar Pradesh and was threatening him, demanding extortion money. And Narendra Kashyap, Uttar Pradesh Minister Narendra Kashyap now joins me on the broadcast. नरेंद्र कश्यप जी, विपक्ष बोल रहा है कि ये तो एक इनकाउंटर कर दिया है वाही बटोरने के लिए, जिंदा क्यों नहीं पकड़ा असद अहमद को?
देखिए, जब उत्तर प्रदेश में दूसरी बार उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को अपना आशीर्वाद देकर देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में योगी जी को उत्तर प्रदेश का मुख्यमंत्री बनने का अवसर प्रदान किया, तो उसी समय हमारी सरकार ने ये निश्चित कर लिया था कि हम उत्तर प्रदेश में भ्रष्टाचार और अपराध पर जीरो टॉलरेंस की पॉलिसी यूज करेंगे। इसके बाद भी अगर प्रयागराज में कोई दुस्साहस करके उमेश पाल और हमारी प्रदेश पुलिस के 2 जवानों को शहीद कर देता है, तो निश्चित है हमारी सरकार उस पर सख्त कदम उठाती है। और आज एसटीएफ के माध्यम से उसी घटना के 2 और अपराधियों को एनकाउंटर के माध्यम से मार गिराया गया है। क्योंकि जो दुस्साहस पहले हुआ था, उमेश हत्याकांड में हमारे पुलिसकर्मियों ने बचाने की कोशिश की, उनको भी गोली मार दी गई थी। ऐसा ही दुस्साहस आज भी इन दोनों अपराधियों ने किया, जिनसे सूचना मिली है कि जिनके पास विदेशी हथियार भी मिले हैं, जिनका मंशा प्रयागराज में न्यूसेंस क्रिएट करना था, आतंक फैलाना था। लेकिन एसटीएफ की मुठभेड़ में आज दोनों अपराधी मारे गए। मैं समझता हूं कि उमेश पाल की आत्माओं की शांति के लिए, उनके परिवार के न्याय के लिए हमारी सरकार के नेतृत्व में उठाया गया ये कदम बहुत ही प्रदेश की जनता के उत्साह को बढ़ाने वाला है। जी
अतीक अहमद, माफिया डॉन अतीक अहमद ने मेरे सहयोगी समर श्रीवास्तव से बात करते हुए कहा था कि हम तो मिट्टी में मिल गए हैं, अब हमारी नाक जमीन में रगड़ी जा रही है।
देखिए, उत्तर प्रदेश में किसी भी अवस्था में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का साफ संदेश है और विधानसभा में भी इन्होंने स्पष्ट कर दिया था कि उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर अपराधियों को मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम हम लोग करेंगे। तो यदि वो नाक लगने या जो भी हो, लेकिन इतना तय है कि उत्तर प्रदेश में कानून का राज है। उत्तर प्रदेश में अपराधियों के लिए, दंगाइयों के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है। कानून अपना काम करेगा, बुलडोजर अपना काम करेगा, एसटीएफ अपना काम करेगा, लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश की 25 करोड़ जनता की सुरक्षा हमारी प्राथमिकता है। इस पर हमारी सरकार काम करती रहेगी।
नहीं, लेकिन नरेंद्र कश्यप जी, क्या गाड़ी पलटने का भय, क्योंकि अतीक अहमद को तो अब ये बात भी, ये डर सता रहा है कि बार बार अगर उसे साबरमती जेल से प्रयागराज लाया जाएगा तो कहीं एक बार गाड़ी ना पलट जाए, तो क्या कोई आश्वासन की गाड़ी नहीं पलटेगी?
देखिए, दुर्घटनाओं की संभावनाओं पर विचार नहीं किया जा सकता, न उद्घोष किया जा सकता है। किसकी गाड़ी कब पलट जाए इस पर कहना कुछ भी उचित नहीं। आप जानते हैं, कई बार फ्लाइट क्रैश हो जाती है, कई बार प्राइवेट गाड़ी क्रैश हो जाती है। तो ये दुर्घटनाओं के बारे में अनुमान लगाया जाना उचित नहीं है। दुर्घटना है, लेकिन ये सत्य है कि उत्तर प्रदेश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार में अपराध और अपराधियों से कोई समझौता नहीं होगा।
तो क्या अतीक अहमद के मन में जो डर है इसको और बनाए रखा जाएगा? क्योंकि अतीक अहमद आज सुना है वो रोने लगे अदालत के अंदर जब पता चला कि असद का इनकाउंटर हो गया। उनको इस बात का भी डर सता रहा है कि उनकी पत्नी शाइस्ता परवीन अभी भी फरार है, उनको नहीं पता। उनको इस बात का भी डर सता रहा है कि अभी गुड्डू बमबाज नहीं पकड़ा गया।
देखिए, जो अपराधी अपराध करने के बाद भी कानून का सम्मान नहीं करते, कोर्ट में सरेंडर नहीं करते, पुलिस के सामने सरेंडर नहीं करते, वो फरारी के माध्यम से कानून को दता बताते हैं, तो निश्चित है उनको दहशत लगेगी, उनको डर लगेगा। और इस डर से अगर बचना है तो न्याय का सम्मान यदि करना सीखेंगे, अपराध से दूर रहने की कोशिश करेंगे। अब जिन लोगों पर 5-5 लाख रुपए का इनाम है, उसके बाद भी वो अपने आप को सरेंडर नहीं करते हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से अब उनके मन में दहशत है तो वो रहे, इसमें कोई क्या कर सकता है। और इस दहशत को अगर निकालना है तो कानून का साथ देना चाहिए।
नरेंद्र कश्यप जी, आप मेरे साथ जुड़े यहां पर इंडिया टुडे में, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। उत्तर प्रदेश मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र कश्यप मेकिंग इट वेरी क्लियर दैट दोज हु आर एब्सकॉन्डिंग should surrender immediately and join due process of law. I once again want to take you back to Jhansi. I'm told at the Pariksha Dam, that's the first images that you see of Navendu Singh. He is the Deputy Superintendent of Police of Jhansi, the man who led the encounter. The first and exclusive picture on India Today. And that's the man you see on your television screen, the brave Deputy Superintendent of Police of Jhansi, Navendu Singh, who led that operation. This is what we are being told, and right now he is briefing his superiors about that encounter that had taken place. First and exclusive pictures you see on India Today. Navendu Singh is the name of the brave police officer, undeterred that there were two mafia dons, Asad Ahmed and Ghulam Muhammad, both armed with pistols, the small firearms that we see in their hands. According to police, they opened fire at the police team that had set up a checkpoint in this area. The police fired back, and the image that you see on your television screen is that of Asad Ahmed, who was killed in that encounter, and of course Ghulam Muhammad. But the fact remains that Shabbir Guddu Bambas still remain at large. The second image that you see on your television screen, ladies and gentlemen, is that of the STF team, the Special Task Force team with their body protection armor, with their assault rifles. And this picture now is the dead body of the killed mafia being taken into the ambulance. It will now be taken to the nearest government hospital for a post-mortem. We will know how many bullets were fired once the forensic report is in from the weapon that the two criminals, the suspects, the accused were carrying, and the number of the number of bullets that were discharged from the weapons that were in the hand of the security forces. There is a detailed investigation that is carried out even after the encounter. As per law, a magisterial inquiry is carried out. The second image you see on your television screen is the body of the two accused being taken to the mortuary of the nearest government hospital in Jhansi, and a post-mortem would be carried out at a government hospital by a panel of doctors. They would ascertain, that's where you see the image, that's the image of the body being taken to the police, to the hospital. Now a panel will declare Asad Ahmed and Ghulam Mohammed dead, brought dead on arrival to the hospital. Then the body will be sent for post-mortem. A post-mortem report would be prepared. The number of bullets, that's the emergency ward of the hospital in Jhansi. Samad Srivastav, my colleague, will be joining us in a moment from Ground Zero. We have Pramod who will join us from Jhansi. But Samarth, the Uttar Pradesh police have reason to be satisfied. It took them close to 2 months from mid-February now to almost mid-April to neutralize Asad Ahmed, the mastermind, and of course Ghulam Mohammed. But whether it's Shabir or Guddu Bambaz, the challenge remains.
Well, the challenge must remain, but what we are getting from sources, UP STF is quite near to the other shooters, other three shooters, especially near the Guddu Muslim. So we can hear such encounter news or arresting news in the while, be it today or tomorrow, because what we have got from the UP STF sources, they are very near to the other three shooters, and the team can nab him, can nab the Guddu Bambas, what you were claiming. But I've got the list of those officers who were there in the operation, and I guess that these names must be heard on national television, because these were the officers, as you mentioned the name of circle officer, who was there in that particular operation. As CM Yogi Adityanath also congratulated them, because it was such a massive task for the Uttar Pradesh police, for the UP STF, and I've got that particular list in which has clear mention of these officers. The CO Navindu Kumar, as you just mentioned, Gaurav, and then there is another CO Vimal Kumar, then Inspectors Anil Kumar Singh, Gyanendra Kumar Rai, and Sub Inspector Vinay Tiwari. Other officers Pankaj Tiwari, Sonu Yadav, Sushil Kumar, Sunil Kumar, and Commandos Arvind Kumar, Dilip Kumar Yadav. So these are those brave cops of Uttar Pradesh STF who in an operation managed to grab the son of Atiq Ahmed, Asad Ahmed, and Ghulam as well. But when they resisted to be arrested, then cross-firing happened, and in that cross-firing the other two persons, including that particular Asad, gunned down. And that's a massive news coming in from Uttar Pradesh, because it will not just stop here, because it has already got the political turn with Samajwadi Party spokesperson Amit Jamai questioning the encounter and saying that that encounter is not the final truth. He is questioning why you killed, but on ground, if you are a police officer, when we spoke to the senior police cops, they clearly say they don't have much chances when the criminal is in front of them and having a gun or pistol in hand. So they just have two options: either get killed or kill that particular criminal. So that was such a scenario for the Uttar Pradesh STF today, as mentioned by UP STF Chief Amitabh Yash, and that's why CM Yogi is quite happy with these updates coming in, and that's why he also congratulated Amitabh Yash and his team. Though also a press conference will be held where the ADG and Amitabh Yash will join and clearly explain how the STF planned out this particular thing and how it took, and that's also a genuine question, why it took so long. But when we see that the justice has been delivered, that's what the scene of Umesh Pal family, as they are happy that finally the justice delivered. Though they have also questions regarding Asad and Ashraf's future, because they say that these two are the masterminds in this particular case and they should be gunned down, as per the family of Umesh Pal. But let's see if police can
brought to justice. Hopefully, absolutely. Hopefully they'll be arrested. Hopefully they'll be arrested. Hopefully, they will be taken to court, and courts in our country will deliver justice. In this case, as Amitabh Yash, the Additional Director General of the Uttar Pradesh Police Special Task Force, was telling India Today, they didn't have an opportunity. As soon as they stopped the motorcycle, from what sources in UPSTF are telling India Today, they stopped the motorcycle. The two who are on the motorcycle opened fire at the police team, and the police team, according to them, had no option but to fire back in self-defense. But we're getting a lot of political reactions. Let's listen in.
उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने वो किया है जिसका इंतजार हो रहा था। कहा जा रहा था कि अपराधी कब पकड़ा जाएगा, कब कानून की गिरफ्त में होगा, लेकिन असद इनकाउंटर में मारा गया है और सरकार ने आखिरकार जो दावा किया था उस पर बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ उत्तर प्रदेश के उप मुख्यमंत्री केशव प्रसाद मौर्य हैं। सर, आपसे बात हो रही थी, असद का इनकाउंटर हुआ है, आपने कहा था चाहे पाताल में हो कहीं भी हो मिट्टी से मिला देंगे, निकाल के मार करें।
मैं भी इस बात को फिर दोहरा रहा हूं कि जो किसी की हत्या करेगा तो उसको कानून के हिसाब से फांसी के फंदे में चढ़ना सुनिश्चित है। एसटीएफ लगातार खोज कर रही थी। आज एक बड़ी मुठभेड़ में जिस प्रकार से हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस और एसटीएफ के जवानों ने इन दोनों हत्यारों को, चाहे उसमें असद हो चाहे गुलाम नाम का हो, और इनके इनकाउंटर से प्रयागराज प्रदेश और सभी लोगों में बहुत खुशी है कि इस प्रकार के अपराधियों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए थी। यह मुठभेड़ में मारे गए और हो सकता है कि ये पकड़ करके आते तो ये फांसी के फंदे पर चढ़ते, क्योंकि गंभीर अपराध था।
In the assembly, the chief minister had said and used a word for the dons and mafia and said मिट्टी में मिला देंगे, and the action has been taken exactly in that fashion, and it's a big achievement. Finally, the justice has been delivered. Now, UP has finally seen end of mafia and the don and the gangster Raj, which used to exist during the Samajwadi Party and BSP.
And I have Dayashankar Singh, Uttar Pradesh Minister, joining me on the broadcast. Dayashankar Singh ji, इनकाउंटर की नौबत क्यों आई, जिंदा क्यों नहीं पकड़ा गया? विपक्ष ये प्रश्न उठा रहा है कि इनकाउंटर न्याय नहीं होता।
देखिए, ये लगातार फरार चल रहे थे लोग। ये पुलिस जो है बराबर इन लोगों को दबिशें दे रही थी। जिस दिन से घटनाएं हुई हैं उस दिन से लगातार जो है पुलिस जो है इनको पकड़ने का प्रयास कर रही थी, लेकिन ये लोग भागते रहे और कभी भी, और जहां पुलिस जाती थी तो पुलिस के सामने से निकल जाते थे। तो ये पुलिस का जो
जी
ये घटना आई, पुलिस चाहती थी कि पकड़ करके लाया जाए और न्यायालय के सामने प्रस्तुत किया जाए, लेकिन उससे ये लोग भागते रहे और पुलिस पर भी अटैक किए, जिसका परिणाम है ये काउंटर हुआ।
क्या आज इन्हें जीवित पकड़ना बिल्कुल संभव नहीं था? आपको क्या जानकारी मिल पाई है दयाशंकर जी?
नहीं, यदि संभव होता तो पुलिस का ही होता है पकड़ करके न्यायालय में प्रस्तुत किया जाए। ऐसी परिस्थिति पैदा किया होगा जिसके पुलिस को सफलता नहीं मिली होगी, ये स्थिति उत्पन्न हुई।
जी, और अतीक अहमद के बारे में कहा जा रहा है कि अब उसको ये डर सता रहा है कि उसकी गाड़ी ना पलट जाए। तो ये क्या डर का माहौल पैदा किया जा रहा है उत्तर प्रदेश में माफियाओं के मन में?
माहौल पैदा नहीं किया जा रहा है, अपराधियों का मनोबल बहुत बढ़ा हुआ था। अपराधी कार्यालय तक चले जाते थे, लेकिन जो भी में कानून का है, सबके लिए समान कानून है। किसी भी माता के को सुना न हो, किसी की पत्नियों को उसके पति उससे अलग न हो, सबको न्याय मिले, इस तरह का कानून का राज है। और कोई भी अपराधी यदि दूसरे को इस तरह का
जी
भुगतने के लिए तैयार रहेगा तो ये योगी जी की सरकार है।
तो योगी जी की सरकार में क्या माफिया अतीक अहमद की गाड़ी पलटने की भी आशंका है या न्याय अदालतों से ही मिलेगा?
नहीं, कोई यदि इससे कस्टडी से कोई भगाने का प्रयास करेगा, कोई पुलिस के उस पर कोई अटैक करेगा। पहले आपने देखा होगा कि लखनऊ के अंदर सीओ को जो है लोगों ने सीओ को बोनट पर लेकर के लोग घसीटते हुए ले गए थे हजरतगंज में। क्या अपने योगी जी के सरकार में ये संभव हो पाएगा क्या? वही पुलिस है, कोई पुलिस बदली नहीं है, वही पुलिस है, केवल पुलिस का मनोबल बढ़ गया है।
तो आपको लगता है कि इससे लोगों का मनोबल और पुलिस का मनोबल बढ़ेगा इस घटना के बाद से?
देखिए, लोगों में भरोसा है कि सबको न्याय मिलेगा, चाहे कोई भी व्यक्ति हो, यदि उसके साथ न्याय हो रहा है तो उसको न्याय मिलेगा।
लेकिन
कमजोर से व्यक्ति भी आप देखिए, जो आपने विधायक थे राजू पाल, उनकी हत्या हुई, आज उनकी जो विधवा है उसको न्याय मिल रहा है। आप जो है अभी उमेश पाल की हत्या हुई है, उसकी विधवा को न्याय मिल रहा है। भाई, जो किसी के आप दूसरे के पति के साथ, दूसरे के बेटे के साथ आप करेंगे तो आपको आपके साथ भी ऐसा होना है। तो इसलिए अब कानून का राज है, सबके लिए समान कानून है, किसी के लिए न कोई विशेष है, न किसी के लिए कोई न किसी का वर्चस्व है, न किसी की उपेक्षा है। सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबको न्याय।
तो इसी पर आपकी सरकार आगे बढ़ेगी। लेकिन अभी भी एक बात साफ है, आप लोग शाइस्ता परवीन को पकड़ने में अभी तक सफल नहीं हुए हैं, गुड्डू बम्बाज को पकड़ने में सफलता नहीं मिली है, शब्बीर को पकड़ने में सफलता नहीं मिली है। तो क्या अपनी पीठ बहुत जल्दी ठोक रही है उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस?
नहीं, पुलिस प्रयास कर रही है। अभी बहुत सारे चीजें हैं, कुछ लोग आप जानते हैं कि यहाँ के अपराधी नेपाल चले जाते हैं, बांग्लादेश चले जाते हैं, उसके बाद बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं, लेकिन पुलिस अपना प्रयास कर रही है, जो जहां भी होंगे वहीं से पकड़ के लाएगी।
तो आप ये कह रहे हैं कि शाइस्ता परवीन को या गुड्डू बम्बाज को पकड़ के लाएंगे, इनकाउंटर आपकी पुलिस का लक्ष्य नहीं है, क्या ये कह रहे हैं आप?
नहीं, कतई नहीं है। हमारे पुलिस का सबसे पहले काम है कि उन लोगों को पकड़ करके ले आकर के न्यायालय के सामने प्रस्तुत करें, न्यायालय उनको सजा दे।
क्योंकि विपक्ष के कुछ नेता ये भी कह रहे हैं लगातार कि ये इनकाउंटर और 168 इनकाउंटर हो चुके हैं योगी राज में, ये केवल वाही बटोरने के लिए है, चुनाव जीतने के लिए है, ये न्याय व्यवस्था को सुदृढ़ नहीं कर रही है आपकी सरकार।
नहीं, ऐसा कभी नहीं है। आप देखिए, पहले प्रयास सबका ही है कि सबको पकड़ करके ले आके न्यायालय के सामने प्रस्तुत किया जाए। और आप देख रहे हैं, जो लोग जो पकड़े गए हैं वो भी उत्तर प्रदेश में आना नहीं चाहती, तो जो नहीं पकड़े गए हैं वो उत्तर प्रदेश कैसे आएंगे? तो जो पकड़े गए हैं, जो जेल के अंदर हैं, वो भी उत्तर प्रदेश आने में डरते हैं। तो ये एक वो है कि भाई आप जब उत्तर प्रदेश में आएंगे तो पकड़े ही जाएंगे। पहले पकड़ने का प्रयास है। यदि पुलिस पर आप कोई आप जवाबी कार्रवाई करते हैं तब इस तरह की स्थिति पैदा होती है।
दयाशंकर सिंह जी, आप मेरे साथ जुड़े आज इंडिया टुडे पर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सो दैट वाज उत्तर प्रदेश मिनिस्टर दयाशंकर सिंह saying the law will be very clear. There is no place for mafia dons in Uttar Pradesh. You either surrender or be ready to face the music. I want to slip into a quick break. We'll be back with the headlines and our top stories. But before that, once again, listen in to Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath saying mafia ko mitti mein mila denge, and listen in to gangster Atiq Ahmed's response.
जिस अतीक अहमद के खिलाफ पीड़ित परिवारों ने मुकदमा दर्ज कराया, उसके परिवार के खिलाफ, वह समाजवादी पार्टी के द्वारा पोषित माफिया है और उसकी कमर को तोड़ने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है। और फिर मैं कह रहा हूं, इसे हाउस में कह रहा हूं, इस माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे। सरकार किसी है, सरकार किसी है, दखलत में हो, ये माफिया है, इनको मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम करेंगे। अपराधी आप लोग हैं, अपराधी को भी दूर कर अपराधी।
हम आपके जरिए गवर्नमेंट से कहना चाहते हैं कि बिल्कुल मट्टी में मिल गए हैं, अब हमारे औरतों को, बच्चों को परेशान न करें।
state of war Karnataka begins. A reminder, who is the true number one? The 5 big voices speak to us before all the others. From Chief Minister Bommai to Chief Challenger Siddaramaiah. From old warhorse Yadurappa to muscleman DK Shivakumar and Kingmaker Kumaraswamy. When it's Karnataka, there's no competition. India's #1 election channel.
You are watching India Today.
UP's Mahant takes mafia to the mitti. India quaked by UP hunt kill action. Mafia mitti mein message delivered. Lived by the bullet, died by the bullet. Yogi puts every gangster on notice. Yogi's mantra, no maafi for mafia. India Today at Jhansi encounter site.
Good afternoon, you're watching India Today. I'm Gaurav Sawant and our top focus story on the broadcast is this encounter that's just taken place a short while back at Jhansi near the Pariksha Dam. Now there are 2 villages, the Chirgaon village and the Badagaon village, and this is where the encounter took place earlier today. And mafia don turned politician Atiq Ahmed's younger son and the main accused in the Umesh Pal murder case. He was caught on camera firing bullets. Asad Ahmed has been shot dead along with the other shooter, Ghulam Muhammad. We'll get you the 360-degree perspective on this big story and the hunt for the absconding mafia dons in this case, including Atiq Ahmed's wife Shaista Parveen, Guddu Bambaz and Shabbir. Much more in the course of the next 1 hour. But first, as always, the headlines at 3. Mafia Don Atiq Ahmed's son Asad killed in an encounter in Jhansi. Police insist Asad and Ghulam Muhammad fired at the police, after which they were killed in retaliatory fire. Atiq Ahmed breaks down in court after hearing the news of his son's death, fears for his own life as he's produced in court in connection with the same Umesh Pal murder investigation. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath hails the role of the Uttar Pradesh police in the Asad encounter. Politics begins on the encounter. Opposition attacks the Yogi Adityanath government, says UP is completely lawless. Asad Ahmed and aide Ghulam Muhammad fled to multiple cities to take shelter, from Kanpur to Delhi to Ajmer. Asad's escape route only on India Today. Our top story on the broadcast is the encounter that's taken place in Jhansi. Asad Ahmed and Ghulam Muhammad, the main shooters in the Umesh Pal murder case, were shot dead earlier today. This encounter took place in an open area near the Pariksha Dam in Jhansi. Asad Ahmed and Ghulam Muhammad were wanted in connection with the Umesh Pal murder investigations. Remember, Umesh Pal was shot dead outside his Prayagraj home. on the 24th of February, and those were horrifying images of a car taking over Umesh Pal's car. Incidentally, Umesh Pal was the prime eyewitness in the Raju Pal murder case, and in the Raju Pal murder case, Atiq Ahmed remains the main accused. Now, the man you see on your television screen is Asad Ahmed, the younger son and the heir apparent of Atiq Ahmed's mafia empire. He led this operation. He participated in this operation. He's the man you see with long hair. He comes in front of the car and fires at point blank range. But that's one part of the story. But to instill that sense of fear, they brought in one of their key aides, Guddu Bambas. Guddu Bambas, as the name suggests, was the man who used to make crude bombs. And he kept hurling crude bombs to ensure no one comes to Umesh Pal's residence. Look, their aim was not just to kill, and that is what Uttar Pradesh STF officials have told India Today. Their aim was not just to kill Umesh Pal, the eyewitness. Their aim was also to instill fear in the minds of people of Prayagraj and Uttar Pradesh. Both Asad Ahmed and Ghulam Muhammad carried a reward of 5 lakhs on their heads.
माफिया अतीक अहमद के बेटे का झांसी के पारीछा में एनकाउंटर किया गया। आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर एसटीएफ भी मौजूद है, पुलिस फोर्स भी तैनात गया है। बताया जा रहा है कि यहाँ पर चेकिंग की जा रही थी। चेकिंग के दौरान बाइक सवार 2 युवक नजर आए, तब उनको रोकने का प्रयास किया गया तो पता चला कि ये अतीक अहमद के बेटे समेत 2 उनका शार्प शूटर भी शामिल था, जिसमें जब उन्हें रोकने का प्रयास किया गया तो उन्होंने पुलिस टीम पर और जो एसटीएफ टीम पर है उस पर हमला कर दिया था, जिसमें एसटीएफ की टीम ने बचाव करते हुए फायरिंग कर दी, जिसमें दोनों जो अतीक अहमद का बेटे समेत 2 लोग हैं जो ढेर हो गए हैं। इनको फोर्स में जो आप देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पर हम आपको वो स्थान भी दिखाएंगे जहाँ पर एनकाउंटर हुआ है। आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर जो नज़दीक जो कुछ ही दूरी पर आप देख सकते हैं एसटीएफ भी खड़ी हुई है, पुलिस फोर्स भी खड़ा हुआ है। और जहाँ पर जो हुआ है वो हम दिखाएंगे आपको कि वहाँ पर जो जिस गाड़ी से वो जा रहे थे वो गाड़ी कौन सी है और कहाँ खड़ी। आप देखिए नीचे जो रखी हुई है वो गाड़ी यहाँ पर है। आप देखिएगा ये गाड़ी वही है जिस पर जो अतीक अहमद का बेटा जो है वो जा रहा था। आप देखिएगा यहाँ पर मुठभेड़ हुई है और हम कुछ दूरी पर वो भी दिखाएंगे। आप देखिएगा जो सामने दिख रहा है तमंचा पड़ा हुआ है, वो तमंचा भी देखिएगा जो असलहा है, जिस असलहा से टीम पर हमला किया गया था वो असलहा भी दिखाया गया है। यहाँ पर भागते समय एसटीएफ ने उन पर हमला किया है। आप देखिएगा, फिर आपको दिखाएंगे। देखिए अब साफ तौर पर देखा जा रहा है तमंचा पड़ा हुआ है, जो नीचे बाइक पड़ी हुई है, यहाँ पर एनकाउंटर किया गया है। ये एसटीएफ की बहुत बड़ी सफलता है।
आज फाइनली इनको हम लोगों ने ट्रैक डाउन करने में सफलता प्राप्त की है और जो इन द एंसुइंग एनकाउंटर दे हैव बीन गन डाउन।
सर, क्या क्या बरामदगी हुई है, क्योंकि ये लंबा ऑपरेशन था, और कितनी टीम जो आपकी इसमें जो है अंजाम दिया है?
इसमें एसटीएफ ने पूरी ताकत लगा रखी थी। लगभग सभी टीम्स जो एसटीएफ में है वो इस केस में के किसी न किसी क्रिमिनल पर या किसी न किसी एंगल पे काम कर रही थी। आज फाइनली एक सफलता हमें मिली है जिसमें 2 अपराधी मारे गए।
सर, इसका लीड कैसे मिला, क्योंकि आपकी टीम लगातार गश्त दे रही थी, बार बार वो चकमा दे रहा था, मोबाइल बंद था, लोकेशन मिल नहीं रही थी, लीड कहां से मिला?
लीड्स के बारे में हम यहाँ बात नहीं करेंगे। सफलता मिली, ये इम्पोर्टेंट है।
सर, आगे की कार्रवाई को लेकर के, क्योंकि अभी बाकी लोग भी हैं जिन पे गिरफ्तार भी होना बाकी है, उसके लिए किस तरीके का?
ये हमारी कार्रवाई अभी समाप्त नहीं हुई है। ये तो इसके पहले भी कुछ लोगों को गिरफ्तार हमने किया था। अब आगे भी कार्रवाई चलती रहेगी।
During the course of this hour, we'll get you more on how Amitabh Yash, the Additional Director General of Police Special Task Force of Uttar Pradesh, he and his team, and there were several SPs, several inspectors who were tracking different members of the Atiq Ahmed gang, tracking them, cross-verifying information, and they came very close to nabbing them. I want to first show you that encounter spot. You're looking at Uttar Pradesh. Now, that's the tip near Jhansi where the encounter took place. There is a place called Chirgaon. There's another village called Badagaon. Between Chirgaon and Badagaon, there is the Pariksha Dam. That is where the encounter took place. Now, at this place, these people were hiding and they wouldn't stay in any one place for very long. We'll also get you details of how after the encounter at Prayagraj, they went and stayed at a house that was subsequently demolished. They collected money and all spread out in different areas. So 24th of February was when the encounter took place. 24th night, they assembled at that house which was subsequently demolished around the 26th of February. that those operations started those bulldozer actions, demolishing a number of houses. The aim was to send out a message that don't shield them, and yet they were shielded. So they fled to Kanpur, they fled to Meerut, they also came to the national capital Delhi. They've collected money from various locations, but they were on the run. They were on the run because very few people subsequently were willing to shield them, or those who were compelled to shield them passed on information to the anti-terror squad and the special task force. The police were hot on their heels. Top police officials have told India Today that these mafia dons and accused survived by the skin of their teeth at least twice. Once in Kanpur, the second time in Delhi. They were almost arrested. The police reached, the police raided. They've collected CCTV images. They got information, but they had just escaped. I now want to cut across to India Today's Samarth Srivastav, who's telling us more about this operation. Samarth, we will know some details on camera in a while from now from the STF, but some details will remain because this remains a live operation because several people are still absconding. But what can you tell our viewers? How did this encounter take place? How did the police know that Asad Ahmed and Ghulam Mohammed would be near Pariksha Dam?
Well, Amitabh, Yash couldn't share much information regarding the tip-off, but what we got to know from sources that they had a tip-off regarding the entry of in Kanpur of Asad and Ghulam via bike, and when they tracked the tip-off and they reached Jhansi, because it was once a coincidence, because yesterday only as Atiq Ahmed's convoy moved from Jhansi, where we followed Atiq Ahmed till Prayagraj, and Jhansi is the place where encounter happened. So was there any planning by Asad to meet or in a way break up to the convoy of Atiq Ahmed? This could be a thing of caution for Uttar Pradesh police as well, but the place of encounter was Jhansi, and what we are getting from sources that Kanpur was the spot when they entered Kanpur, and they also used the roadways bus.
I quickly want to cut across. Let's quickly cut across and listen into Prashant Kumar, ADGP Law and Order.
सरकार की अपराध और अपराधियों तथा माफियाओं के उन्मूलन के प्रति जो प्रतिबद्धता है, इससे आप सभी अवगत हैं। सरकार शुरू से ही जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति ऐसे माफियाओं और दुर्दांत अपराधियों के प्रति एक विशेष अभियान छेड़ रखा है, जिसके बहुत ही सार्थक परिणाम आए हैं, जिससे आप सभी अवगत हैं। चौबीस फरवरी को एक बड़ी घटना प्रयागराज के धूमनगंज थाना क्षेत्र में घटित हुई, जिसमें कि एक महत्वपूर्ण गवाह उमेश पाल की हत्या गाड़ी सवार कुछ बदमाशों ने फायरिंग और बम फेंक के की थी। इसमें हमारे दो बहादुर साथी भी, जो कि उस गवाह की सुरक्षा हेतु लगाए गए थे, घायल हुए और बाद में शहीद हुए। उस समय से उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस ने विशेष टीमों का गठन किया था तथा समय समय पे इसमें कार्रवाइयाँ भी हुई हैं। इस घटना के संबंध में जो महत्वपूर्ण 5 लोग पहचाने गए थे, उन पे पहले स्थानीय स्तर पे, फिर पुलिस महानिदेशक के स्तर पे 2.5 लाख का इनाम तथा उसके बाद शासन स्तर पे 5-5 लाख के इनाम घोषित हुए थे। वो अपराधी जिन पे 5 लाख का इनाम घोषित हुआ था, उसमें अरमान, असद, गुड्डू और साबिर शामिल थे। लगातार हमारी एसटीएफ और सिविल पुलिस की टीमें इस महत्वपूर्ण घटना के अभियुक्तों को अकाउंट फॉरवर्ड करने में लगी थी। जैसा कि आप सभी अवगत हैं कि इस घटना के संबंध में पुलिस की वारंट बी इस लेके टीम 2 महत्वपूर्ण जगहों पर गई थी तथा साबरमती तथा बरेली से जो इसमें 2 साजिशकर्ता नामजद थे एफआईआर में, उनको लाया गया था। इस तरह के इंटेलिजेंस इनपुट थे कि स्थानीय स्तर पे या रास्ते में कॉन्वॉय पे हमला करके अपराधियों को छुड़ाया जा सकता है और जिस तरह की जघन्य हत्या इन लोगों ने 24 फरवरी को की थी, उसको देखते हुए हमारी स्पेशल फोर्सेस तथा सिविल पुलिस की विशेष टीमें लगाई गई थी। आज दिन लगभग 12:30 से 1 के बीच में एक सूचना के आधार पर जब कुछ लोगों को इंटरसेप्ट किया गया तो उस दौरान दोनों तरफ से गोलियां चली और उस पुलिस ऑपरेशन में हमारी एसटीएफ की टीम थी तथा उस मुठभेड़ में 24/2/2023 को जो 2 अभियुक्त जिनको अपराधीकृत करते हुए सबने देखा है, मुठभेड़ में घायल हुए तथा बाद में उनकी मृत्यु हो गई, जिनकी पहचान असद पुत्र अतीक अहमद तथा गुलाम पुत्र मकसूदन के रूप में हुई। इस पूरे ऑपरेशन को हमारे एसटीएफ की टीम ने किया है। अभियुक्तों के पास से अत्याधुनिक विदेशी हथियार क्रमशः ब्रिटिश बुलडॉग रिवॉल्वर 455 बोर तथा वॉल्थर P88 पिस्टल 7.62 बोर बरामद की गई है। हमारी टीम में जो लोग शामिल रहे हैं, उस टीम का नेतृत्व डिप्टी एसपी नवेंदु कुमार तथा डिप्टी एसपी विमल कुमार सिंह ने किया है। इसके अतिरिक्त उस टीम में 2 निरीक्षक, 1 उप निरीक्षक, 4 मुख्य आरक्षी, 5 मुख्य आरक्षी तथा 2 कमांडो भी शामिल रहे हैं। इन कर्मियों का नाम हम प्रेस विज्ञप्ति के रूप में अभी आपको जारी करेंगे और आगे भी अपराध और अपराधियों के प्रति जो नीति शासन के निर्देश हैं, पुलिस महानिदेशक उत्तर प्रदेश की जो को निर्देश हैं, उसका अनुपालन हमारी जो एसटीएफ है, एटीएस है तथा सिविल पुलिस है, वो इनके उन्मूलन और सफाई में आगे भी कार्य करेगी। समय समय पे जो भी उपलब्धियां होंगी वो आप सभी साथियों के साथ हम शेयर करेंगे और मैं व्यक्तिगत रूप से हमारे एसटीएफ के जो साथी हैं, जिन्होंने इतने कठिन परिस्थिति में और इतने प्रतिकूल परिस्थितियों में जो एक अच्छे ऑपरेशन को अंजाम दिया है वो सभी बधाई के पात्र हैं। और इस संबंध में पुलिस महानिदेशक और शासन स्तर से इस मुठभेड़ में शामिल सभी व्यक्तियों को विशेष रूप से धन्यवाद दिया गया है, उनकी प्रशंसा की गई है और ये अपेक्षा की गई है कि इसी तरीके से आगे और भी जो अपराधियों के प्रति हमारी अभियान में सभी हमारे बहादुर साथियों का साथ रहेगा। धन्यवाद। जब उस तरह की चीज़ें आएंगी तो अभी से चीज़ें पहले से लोग इसको प्रसारित करते रहते हैं। मुझे नहीं लगता कि इसमें अभी कोई सत्यता है, लेकिन अगले क्षण अगर कुछ चीज़ें हो जाएंगी तो हम आपको अवगत कराएंगे। और मैंने आपको उनके सभी मंसूबे बता दिए हैं। जो चीज़ें प्रेस के साथ शेयर करने लायक हैं, अन्य चीज़ें अभी ये घटना लगभग 1:15 बजे की है, तो चीज़ें धीरे धीरे और हमारी टीम मौके पे है। स्थानीय पुलिस भी आगे की जो कार्रवाई है इस संबंध में जो PUCL के गाइडलाइंस हैं मुठभेड़ के संबंध में, उसका हम लोग अनुपालन कर रहे हैं। और जो भी डेवलपमेंट होगा वो मैं पुलिस की जो अपनी ग्रुप है उसमें हम डालेंगे और आवश्यक होगा तो आपको बुला के भी अवगत कराएंगे। इस प्रकार से लगभग अब तक पुलिस मुठभेड़ों में 183 बदमाश मारे जा चुके हैं तथा इस दौरान हमारे 13 पुलिसकर्मी भी शहीद हुए हैं। धन्यवाद।
आपने कहा सर कि वो अतीक को छुड़ाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, क्या अकरम के छुड़ाने की भी बात सामने आई कि उसके लिए भी कोई प्लान लगा था इनके साथ?
मैंने ये नहीं कहा, मैंने कहा कि ऐसी सूचना थी कि इनके ऊपर इनके कॉन्वॉय पे अटैक करके इनको छुड़ाने का प्रयास किया जा सकता है। तो उन संभावनाओं को देखते हुए हम लोगों ने सभी तरह की प्रिकॉशंस और लिए थे। और क्योंकि जब कोई मूवमेंट इस तरह के अपराधियों का होता है तो पुलिस इस मामले में बहुत ही सजगता बरतती है और लगातार वरिष्ठ अधिकारी इसका अनुश्रवण कंट्रोल रूम के द्वारा किया जाता है। नहीं, जो मैंने बोला मैं फिर से रिपीट कर रहा हूँ, इस तरह के सूचनाएं थी कि इनके कॉन्वॉय पे हमला करके पुलिस वालों को ओवर पावर करके या उस अटैक में वो कुछ भी कर सकते थे, ये अपने बदमाश को छुड़ा सकते हैं। जी नहीं, ये चीज़ें तो अभी विवेचना चल रही है और उनके लिए पुलिस कस्टडी रिमांड का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। और जब हम पुलिस कस्टडी रिमांड लेंगे और हमारे पास जो सूचनाएं हैं उसको देखते हुए हम इस चीज़ों को पूरा, जब अभी हमारी विवेचना कंक्लूड नहीं हुई है और गुलाम का लगभग 8 आपराधिक इतिहास है, ये भी हम आपके साथ शेयर कर लेंगे। और इसके नहीं, ये तो ऑपरेशनल डिटेल की चीज़ें हैं। अब हमारी तैयारी ऐसी थी कि वो कॉन्वॉय पर अटैक नहीं कर पाए। धन्यवाद। नहीं, वहाँ जहाँ पर मुठभेड़ की सूचना है मैंने आपको बताया कि ये थाना क्षेत्र बड़ा गांव में परीक्षा बांध है, वहाँ पर ये मुठभेड़ हुई। जब आएगी तो सूचना आपको देंगे। जी, वो आपको भी मिल जाएगा। थैंक यू। 2017 से है, जो मैंने अपने नंबर बताया। तो हाँ, हम आपको दे देंगे। किनके? नहीं, अब उसकी कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। सभी उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस के बहादुर जवान थे, बस ये। नहीं, ये तो रूट है। वो रुकने के बहुत सारे कारण होते हैं। किसी कारण से रुक सकते हैं, किसी नेचर कॉल के कारण रुक सकते हैं। हो सकता है कि किसी को कुछ खाना हो, किसी को कोई और कार्रवाई करेगा। झांसी एक बड़ी जगह है, वहाँ पे उस तरह की सुविधा है। नहीं, ऐसी कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। हमारी टीम पूरी तरीके से इक्विप्ड थी, आपको बताया गया। ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है। ये तो अभी मैंने कहा कि हमारे लोग वहाँ अभी FIR दर्ज करा रहे हैं, पोस्टमार्टम होगा, सभी चीज़ें जो PUCL की गाइडलाइंस है उसके हिसाब से किया जाएगा, फिर आपको हम अवगत। धन्यवाद। किसका? नहीं, उनको पर्याप्त सुरक्षा उनके घर वालों को दी गई है, उनके पास पहले से। धन्यवाद।
So that is Prashant Kumar, the Additional Director General of the Uttar Pradesh Police, giving details of the encounter. I want to quickly bring in Samarth Srivastav. Samarth, very interesting that the ADGP Law and Order should say the fact that this encounter took place between 12:30 and 1. There was some intelligence, he says, about movement. These people opened fire first. But the other aspect that he's talking about, that sounds alarming. The plot was, and Samarth, Jhansi is en route, that when Atiq Ahmed was being brought from Sabarmati to Prayagraj, the intelligence police had that these people could attack the convoy and rescue Atiq Ahmed. That sounds really alarming.
Well, Gaurav, that's what I was saying in the previous live when I clearly told that what we are getting from sources, that there was a plotting, there was a plan for Asad and Ghulam to take down Atiq Ahmed from the convoy, and Jhansi was the route, because Jhansi was one route from which we followed. From Jhansi to Prayagraj, Naini Jail we followed. But that was one route where as per the ADG Law and Order Prashant Kumar, where the son Asad along with other accomplices of Atiq Ahmed were hiding in a way to rescue him from the convoy of Uttar Pradesh police. And that's a very shocking update, because if something like that could have happened, because the vehicle stopped plenty of times, be it for the petrol refueling, be it for the refreshments, or be it for some refreshments in the police line of Jhansi itself. So that was something some details coming from ADG Law and Order Prashant Kumar are really scary, because if something like that could have happened.
Stay with me for a moment, Samad. Big story breaking here on India Today, and politics is now escalating on this issue. Samajwadi Party Supremo and former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Akhilesh Yadav tears into the Yogi Adityanath government. Akhilesh Yadav has called Asad's encounter killing fake. He says, and I want to quote, झूठे एनकाउंटर करके भाजपा सरकार सच्चे मुद्दों से ध्यान भटकाना चाह रही है। भाजपाई न्यायालय में विश्वास नहीं करते हैं। आज के वह हालिया एनकाउंटर की भी गहन जांच पड़ताल हो, वह दोषियों को छोड़ा ना जाए। सही गलत के फैसलों का अधिकार सत्ता का नहीं होता, भाजपा भाईचारे के खिलाफ है। Very loaded statement coming in from Akhilesh Yadav, former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh and Samajwadi Party Supremo, after Asad and Ghulam were killed. भाजपा भाईचारे के खिलाफ है। Samarth, what do you make of Akhilesh Yadav saying झूठे इनकाउंटर करके भाजपा सच्चे मुद्दों से ध्यान भटकाना चाह रही है।
Well, that was as expected, Gaurav. As we said, that will be a political turnover because parties like Samajwadi Party or Congress, they would question this encounter killing because it is not a day one thing. Akhilesh has been questioning this encounter killing since past because he questioned in Vikas Dubey, he questioned in various encounters. He even questioned the bulldozer action that happened in Prayagraj in the Atiq Ahmed case. And now clearly he tweeted that the saffron party is against the brotherhood. So this is a big statement, as you said. That's a loaded statement coming from Akhilesh Yadav, where he clearly questioned the encounter killing of Ghulam and Atiq Ahmed's son Asad. He clearly said that there is a judicial process and there is a proper police inquiry, and he feels that such things are no more in the state of Uttar Pradesh, because when I remember I was covering the assembly when Yogi Adityanath clearly said that mitti mein mila denge. Akhilesh Yadav was sitting in front of Yogi Adityanath,
Yes.
and you saw the face of anger of Yogi Adityanath. He was in a way saying this to Akhilesh Yadav, and Akhilesh's reaction was also noticeable. Akhilesh clearly said just after the statement by Yogi Adityanath that mitti mein mila denge, Akhilesh stood up and said, "Who are you to say this? Being a CM, you have no right to say mitti mein mila denge." Though UP Vidhan Sabha Chief Satish Mahana came in support of UP CM Yogi Adityanath, and he clearly said, "Mafia ko mitti mein nahi milayenge to kya karenge?" So this was a statement from Satish Mahana that time when assembly was taking place.
Give me a moment. I want to bring in Shalabh Mani Tripathi for more on this. Shalabh Mani Tripathi, आप किस तरह से इसको देखते हैं? अखिलेश यादव न केवल इसे झूठा इनकाउंटर बता रहे हैं, ये कह रहे हैं कि भाजपा ध्यान भटकाना चाह रही है, ये भी कह रहे हैं कि भाजपा भाईचारे के खिलाफ है। इसके क्या मायने निकालते हैं आप?
अब देख लीजिए, एनकाउंटर हुआ मुझे लगता है कुछ ही घंटे बीते हैं। अखिलेश यादव जी ने FBI से संपर्क किया हो, CBI से संपर्क किया हो, मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन कुछ ही घंटों के भीतर वो रिपोर्ट उन्होंने दे दी, चार्जशीट दे दी कि फेक एनकाउंटर है। साथ में एक साथ में उन्होंने वो भी लगा दिया, भाईचारे के खिलाफ। कौन भाईचारे के खिलाफ है? भाईचारे के खिलाफ हम अगर होते तो इस तरह की कार्रवाई होती क्या? लेकिन इतना जरूर है कि अखिलेश यादव जी जरूर एक कम्युनल पॉलिटिक्स कर रहे हैं, सांप्रदायिक राजनीति कर रहे हैं, अपराधी के भीतर जाति देखने की, अपराधी के भीतर धर्म देखने की, और उनसे उम्मीद भी यही कर सकते हैं। अगर आपको याद हो तो उत्तर प्रदेश में सीरियल धमाके हुए थे जब समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार थी। धर्म देख कर आतंकवादियों के मुकदमे वापस लिए गए समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार में, तो आप उनसे उम्मीद क्या कर सकते हैं? वो यही करेंगे।
एक बड़ा आरोप लगा रहे हैं सर आप शलभ मणि त्रिपाठी जी, आप ये कह रहे हैं कि जब अखिलेश यादव ये आरोप लगाते हैं कि भाजपा भाईचारे के खिलाफ है, तो ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति कर रही है समाजवादी पार्टी। क्या धर्म देखकर ये क्या कहा जा रहा है आपके आकलन में?
बिल्कुल तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति है, नहीं तो भाईचारे का इस एनकाउंटर से क्या मतलब है? आज तो अपराधी मारे जा रहे हैं, माफिया मारे जा रहे हैं। इन अपराधियों और माफियाओं के मारे जाने में भाईचारे का सवाल कहां से आ गया? और आप इतना क्यों बौखलाए हुए हैं? थोड़ा इंतजार कर लीजिए, अभी एनकाउंटर हुआ है, एनकाउंटर के बाद पुलिस की ब्रीफिंग होती है, पुलिस ब्रीफ करेगी, थोड़ा उसका प्रेस नोट पढ़ लेते, थोड़ा बयान पढ़ लेते, थोड़ा अपने समाजवादी पार्टी के जो तमाम सारे लोग अलग अलग गतिविधियों में लिप्त हैं उनको घटनास्थल पर भेज देते, वो जाते टेलीस्कोप लेके अपना देख के आते, इंक्वायरी करके आते। लेकिन अभी घंटे नहीं बीते और आपने चार्जशीट जारी कर दी कि फेक एनकाउंटर है, तो आप किसका मनोबल तोड़ना चाहते हैं? उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस का मनोबल क्यों गिराना चाहते हैं? अपराधियों का मनोबल बढ़ाते रहे, ठीक है, आप बढ़ाइए, ये आपकी संस्कृति हो सकती है, ये आपका चरित्र हो सकता है, लेकिन उत्तर प्रदेश के पुलिस के जिन जवानों ने ये घटना, ये एनकाउंटर जो शामिल रहे एनकाउंटर में, जिन्होंने जाबाजी दिखाई, जिन्होंने साहस दिखाया, आज सर्वत्र प्रशंसा हो रही है। लोग उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस की और यूपी एसटीएफ की प्रशंसा कर रहे हैं। उस यूपी एसटीएफ, यूपी पुलिस का मनोबल अखिलेश यादव जी क्यों गिराना चाहते हैं? अपराधियों का साथ तो आप दे ही रहे हैं।
गंभीर आरोप एक बार फिर आप ये कह रहे हैं कि इस तरह का बयान देकर अखिलेश यादव, जो समाजवादी पार्टी के सुप्रीमो है, पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री रह चुके उत्तर प्रदेश का, वो माफियाओं का मनोबल बढ़ा रहे हैं और पुलिस प्रशासन का मनोबल गिरा रहे हैं। ये किस तरह?
आप इस बात को समझिए ना। देखिए, इनामी अपराधी मारे गए, जिन लोगों ने सीसीटीवी में गोलियां चलाते देखा था, वो अपराधी एनकाउंटर में मारे गए। पुलिस ने बताया कि कैसे एनकाउंटर हुआ है। उसके बावजूद एक पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री का बैठ के बोलते हैं कि फेक एनकाउंटर है, तो जरा कल्पना करिए कि ये किसका मनोबल गिरेगा। उन पुलिस वालों के भी लोग हैं, उनके परिवार के लोग हैं, उनके अपने दोस्त मित्र हैं, वो क्या सोचते होंगे कि भाई देखो, हमारे व्यक्ति ने जाकर देश के लिए काम किया, समाज के लिए काम किया, अपराधियों के खिलाफ काम किया, और एक पूर्व सीएम बैठ के दावा कर रहे हैं कि नहीं साहब फेक एनकाउंटर है, उनके खिलाफ जांच की मांग कर रहे हैं, ये कह रहे हैं कि दंड मिलना चाहिए। तो अगर इस देश में या समाज में अच्छा करने वालों के तो दंड मांगने की अगर प्रक्रिया चल जाएगी, तो इसका संदेश क्या जाएगा? इससे तो बहुत स्पष्ट है ना कि अखिलेश यादव जी पुलिस का मनोबल गिराना चाहते हैं, प्रशासन का मनोबल गिराना चाहते हैं, और अपराधियों और जो तमाम इस तरह के तत्व हैं, जो गुंडा एलिमेंट हैं, उनका मनोबल बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। उनके स्टेटमेंट से बहुत स्पष्ट है।
लेकिन उनका यह कहना कहां गलत है जब वो कह रहे हैं कि सही गलत के फैसलों का अधिकार सत्ता का नहीं होता? तो वो तो एक तरह से आईना दिखा रहे हैं योगी आदित्यनाथ सरकार को कि इस तरह के इनकाउंटर करके वो भाईचारे का माहौल उत्तर प्रदेश में बिगाड़ रहे हैं, और सजा देना तो न्यायालय का काम है।
मुझे एक बात बताइए, कौन कह रहा है कि न्यायालय सर्वोपरि नहीं है? पर क्या आत्मरक्षा का अधिकार पुलिस के पास नहीं है? पुलिस पर कोई गोली चलाएगा, सीसीटीवी में आपने प्रयाग की घटना देखी होगी ना, वहां पे 2 हमारे जवान शहीद हो गए ना। अखिलेश यादव जी ने क्या उन 2 जवानों के लिए कभी कोई ट्वीट किया? कभी ये कहा कि नहीं ये तमाम सारे अतीक अहमद जैसे जो माफिया हैं उन्होंने बहुत घृणित कार्य किया है, उनके खिलाफ फांसी होनी चाहिए? अखिलेश यादव जी का एक स्टेटमेंट आप मुझे दिखा दीजिए कि जब उन्होंने कहा कि मुख्तार अंसारी और अतीक अहमद जैसे जो माफिया हैं उनके खिलाफ उनको फांसी की मांग होनी चाहिए, उनको फांसी पर लटकाया जाना चाहिए। तो आप खुद जुडिशरी में विश्वास नहीं करते, आप न्यायिक प्रक्रिया में विश्वास नहीं करते। एक पुलिस वाले पर गोली चलेगी, वो अपने सेल्फ डिफेंस में गोली न चलाए तो आप क्या चाहते हैं? और समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार में तो लोगों ने देखा है कि सही गलत का फैसला समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार ने कैसे किया। सीरियल ब्लास्ट करने वाले जो खूंखार आतंकवादी थे, जिनको पूरा देश, समाज और कानून गलत मानता था, उनको समाजवादी पार्टी की सरकार ने ये मानते हुए कि नहीं तुष्टीकरण करना है, वो एक धर्म से आते हैं, उनके मुकदमे वापस ले लिए, उनको छोड़ने की कोशिश की। ऑनरेबल हाईकोर्ट को ये कहना पड़ा कि भाई आप छोड़ क्यों रहे हैं, आप तो इनको पद्मश्री अवार्ड दे दीजिए। तो आज देश और समाज समझ रहा है कि समाजवादी पार्टी किसके साथ खड़ी है, और मुझे लगता है कि अखिलेश यादव जी का जो ट्वीट है, जो बयान है, उनका बहुत ही बड़ा ब्लंडर है ऐसे वक्त में कि जब पुलिस का मनोबल बढ़ाना चाहिए
जी,
अपनी प्रशासन का मनोबल बढ़ाना चाहिए, तब अखिलेश यादव जी ने पुलिस का मनोबल गिराने का काम किया। और साथ ही साथ एक कार्रवाई को उन्होंने जातिवाद और धर्म और सांप्रदायिक राजनीति से जोड़ने की कोशिश की है। ये सीधे तौर पर तुष्टीकरण और सांप्रदायिक राजनीति का परिणाम है।
शैलमानी त्रिपाठी जी, आप आज तक इंडिया टुडे पर मेरे साथ जुड़े, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सो दैट वाज शैलमानी त्रिपाठी ऑफ द भारतीय जनता पार्टी launching a frontal attack on the Samajwadi Party, saying that this is Samajwadi Party communalizing an anti-mafia operation. Why is religion of the accused being brought in by the Samajwadi Party? I also want to bring in Anila Singh of the BJP into this conversation. Anila Singh, Akhilesh Yadav points out that it's the job of the courts to punish an accused, not the administration, and this is where it's a fake encounter and must be investigated as such. The guilty should not be spared, ma'am.
His tweet seals one thing: what he and what his family people or what his party leaders and the workers, continuously they were saying, they were sympathizing, they were advocating for Atiq and his family. They were time and again saying that let the judiciary do its work. Who is stopping judiciary to do its work? What is encounter? Doesn't Mr. Yadav understand this thing? If somebody is going to shoot at police, police is going to sit and welcome them. Aao, hamare upar goli chalao. So,
but ma'am, the opposition is asking, where is the evidence that the mafia opened fire first, or the accused opened fire first, and that the police had to fire in self-defense? Again, a spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party said encounter is not justice. Anila Singh.
What to say about these P-grade people? They are so deep into appeasement politics. They are so deep into pampering such mafia and dons. Don't they know that after every encounter, investigation is there? They don't know this thing. They might not be knowing this thing because during that time, these mafias, criminals, dons, they were running the government. So in today's date, under Yogi Ji's government, fair work is being done. And I congratulate UP STF and UP police. They have done the fantastic job. In criminals की हम आरती उतारे बैठकर, भाईचारा भाईचारा भाईचारा, चारा तो दूसरों को बनाते थे, भाई खुद बने हुए घूमते थे। और किसके दम पे बनते थे? समाजवादी पार्टी, PSP, these are the political parties who hosted them. In today's date, when they had attacked Mr. Umesh Pal and they killed him, and along Mr. Pal, 2 police persons, even they were murdered by this gang. At that time only we knew they will be behind the bars or they will be with the Allah Miya. So this was much expected. What has happened? Those who live by swords, they die by swords. The thing is, आप अगर जहर की खेती आप बोएंगे तो आपको काट पड़ेगी.
Anila Singh for joining me here on India Today. Many thanks. The BJP launching a counter-attack on the Samajwadi Party, accusing the Samajwadi Party of vote bank politics and minority appeasement. And politics is now escalating after this encounter. Imagine the encounter took place between 12:30 and 1. It's barely 3:30 and politics is escalating on this subject while the BJP has hailed Yogi Adityanath's anti-mafia drive. The BJP says Yogi Adityanath is fulfilling a poll promise of delivering a crime and mafia-free Uttar Pradesh. The opposition is saying that these are diversionary tactics to keep the focus away from real issues and that the minorities are being targeted in these encounters. Let's listen in.
उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने वो किया है जिसका इंतजार हो रहा था. कहा जा रहा था कि अपराधी कब पकड़ा जाएगा, कब कानून की गिरफ्त में होगा, लेकिन असद इनकाउंटर में मारा गया है और सरकार ने आखिरकार जो दावा किया था उस पर बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ उत्तर प्रदेश के उप मुख्यमंत्री केशव प्रसाद मौर्य हैं. सर, आपसे बात हो रही थी, असद का इनकाउंटर हुआ है, आपने कहा था चाहे पाताल में हो कहीं भी हो मिट्टी से मिला देंगे, निकाल के मार करेंगे.
मैं भी इस बात को फिर दोहरा रहा हूं कि जो किसी की हत्या करेगा तो उसको कानून के हिसाब से फांसी के फंदे में चढ़ना सुनिश्चित है. एसटीएफ लगातार खोज कर रही थी. आज एक बड़ी मुठभेड़ में जिस प्रकार से हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस और एसटीएफ के जवानों ने इन दोनों हत्यारों को, चाहे उसमें असद हो चाहे गुलाम नाम का हो, और इनके इनकाउंटर से प्रयागराज प्रदेश और सभी लोगों में बहुत खुशी है कि इस प्रकार के अपराधियों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए थी. यह मुठभेड़ में मारे गए और हो सकता है कि ये पकड़ करके आते तो ये फांसी के फंदे पर चढ़ते, क्योंकि गंभीर अपराध.
In the assembly, the chief minister had said and used a word for the dons and mafia and said मिट्टी में मिला देंगे. And the action has been taken exactly in that fashion, and it's a big achievement. Finally, the justice has been delivered. Now, UP has finally seen end of mafia and the don and the gangster Raj, which used to exist during the Samajwadi Party and BSP.
उमेश पाल की हत्या जब हुई थी तो विधानसभा चल रहा था और विधानसभा के सत्र के दौरान उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री ने उत्तर प्रदेश की महान जनता को और उमेश पाल के परिवार को आश्वस्त करते हुए कहा था कि माफियाओं को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे. उसी की श्रृंखला में पहले भी कुछ मारे गए हैं. तमाम उनकी जो संपत्ति है बेनामी वो ध्वस्त की गई है और जब्त की गई है. इसके अलावा आज उमेश पाल की हत्या में आपने फुटेज आपकी चैनल लगातार दिखा रही थी उस समय कि ये असद खुद मौके पर था और वो जो बम फेंक रहा था वो आज दोनों को उत्तर प्रदेश की एसटीएफ ने जो मार गिराया है. तो ये उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री ने जो वादा किया था उसको निभाया है.
आप कहते हैं यूपी में इतना बढ़िया लॉ एंड ऑर्डर है तो क्यों नहीं गिरफ्तार किए उसको? इनकाउंटर पॉलिटिक्स का मतलब ये आप खुद श्योर नहीं है कि जिस केस पे आप उनको गिरफ्तार करना चाह रहे हैं, मैं इस विशेष केस की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ. इनकाउंटर पॉलिटिक्स ये हमारे देश की कानूनी व्यवस्था का उल्लंघन है.
Of course, in this case, the Uttar Pradesh police insist it's an open and shut case. The accused can be seen on camera firing in the direction of Umesh Pal, the prime eyewitness in the Raju Pal murder case, and of course hurling bombs. Some accused have been arrested, some killed, some still at large. So let me now get you a status of the accused in the Umesh Pal murder investigations. Mastermind Atiq Ahmed. He's now been taken to prison in Prayagraj. He was in Sabarmati jail, seen as the mastermind in this case. Shaista Parveen. Now, Shaista Parveen, again, seen as one of the key conspirators and planners. She's Atiq Ahmed's wife, Asad Ahmed's mother. Shaista Parveen is currently absconding. Asad, Atiq Ahmed's son, and the main accused in this case, the man who was seen on camera firing in the direction of Umesh Pal, he has just been shot dead a couple of hours earlier. Usman again was a shooter. Usman has been shot dead. Sabir is one of the main accused in this case. Sabir is still absconding. Arman very cleverly surrendered. He's alive. He's in custody. Arman, in fact, has given out some information. We'll be talking about that in greater detail. Arbaz, again a key shooter in the Atiq Ahmed gang, was the first to be shot dead in this case. Ghulam Muhammad, the second shooter who was with Asad, he's also been shot dead just a short while back. Guddu Muslim is the Bambas, also known as Guddu Bambas. Guddu Bambas is absconding. He is suspected to be with Shaista Parveen, and that is what Uttar Pradesh police sources tell India Today, that they had gone out in groups. One was Asad, the second was Shaista Parveen. One had Ghulam Muhammad with him, the other had Guddu Muslim with him. Now I need to take a break at this stage, but before I take a break, you must listen to Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on the floor of the House in the Uttar Pradesh State Assembly, where he made one thing very clear: mafia ko mitti mein mila denge. I also want you to hear what Atiq Ahmed, once a feared name across Uttar Pradesh, a mafia don that police feared, that political leaders feared, the common man really feared him. Listen in to what he's telling India Today. Listen to Yogi Adityanath, listen to Atiq Ahmed. Back with lots more. Keep watching India Today.
जिस अतीक अहमद के खिलाफ पीड़ित परिवारों ने मुकदमा दर्ज कराया, उसके परिवार के खिलाफ, वह समाजवादी पार्टी के द्वारा पोषित माफिया है और उसकी कमर को तोड़ने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है। और फिर मैं कह रहा हूं, इसे हाउस में कह रहा हूं, इस माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे। सरकार किसी है गफलत में हो, ये माफिया है, इनको मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम करेंगे। अपराधी आप लोग हैं, अपराधी दूर कर अपराधी।
हम आपके जरिए गवर्नमेंट से कहना चाहते हैं कि बिल्कुल मट्टी में मिल गए हैं, अब हमारे औरतों को बच्चों को परेशान न करें।
You are watching India Today.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.
most important would be to go and consult a dermatologist, because this is not something you can treat on your own. However, what is the basic step and why does it happen? So heat rash happens because of the trapping of the sweat gland or sweat duct, and there is sweat under the skin. So you see it can be of varied types. It can be red color, or it can be crystal-like, or it can be pustular. So these are the various types of heat rash which can be seen depending upon the level of the sweat duct which is involved. So most important steps which we can do during summers is to wear loose clothing. Don't wear very tight clothing, because that can cause friction, as well as it can lead to mechanical damage because of rubbing, and so the skin barrier could be disrupted. So make sure that your barrier is intact, and you can use moisturizer which will act like a lubricating agent, so it will protect your skin.
Tell us about heat burns and how to avoid them.
You have to use something to negate the effects of your direct exposure to sun, like hat you can use goggles, so that eye irritation will not happen. You can cover your arms and your body parts with a soft cotton clothes, so that you will not get sunburns.
Why do I keep getting headaches in summers? Is it a sign of dehydration?
One of the symptoms of dehydration is lightheadedness and mild headache. Of course, be very clear in your head that this is not the basic sign of dehydration. So there are a lot of headaches which happen in summers, especially those who are prone to migraine. Summers and extreme heat precipitates the headache, and therefore dehydration of course can give you lightheadedness and some headache, but other causes of headache must also be considered.
Watching India Today.
More reactions coming in on the encounter of Atiq Ahmed's son Asad Ahmed. Asaduddin Owaisi has now spoken out, slamming the Yogi government. He says that this encounter Raj is tearing apart the law, and also has fired a jibe at the BJP, saying this is an attempt to encounter the constitution. Owaisi has gone on to question if there are attempts to weaken the law. What's the point of having a court? What's the point of having judges or a public prosecutor, any of that? He's also said that the BJP must answer, saying, will those who killed Junaid and Nasir be killed in an encounter? No, because you encounter in the name of religion. So now you've got Owaisi attacking the BJP, saying that the reason you're seeing this kind of encounter Raj happening is because the victim Umesh Pal is a Hindu and the accused is a Muslim. So Owaisi bringing in a religion angle also into this.
तो नसीर के मारने वालों को भी गोली मारोगे? बताओ बीजेपी वालों। जुनैद और नसीर को जिसने मारा तुम उसका भी एनकाउंटर करोगे? नहीं करोगे तुम। इसलिए नहीं करोगे क्योंकि तुम मजहब के नाम पर एनकाउंटर करते हो। मारो जुनैद और नसीर के कातिलों को। नहीं मारोगे, अब तक एक पकड़ा गया, 9 गायब। नहीं करोगे। ये कानून की धज्जियां उड़ रही, एनकाउंटर नहीं। तुम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का एनकाउंटर करना चाहते हो। तुम रूल ऑफ लॉ को कमजोर करना चाहते हो। फिर कोर्ट किस लिए है? अदालत किस लिए है? सीआरपीसी, आईपीसी किस लिए है? जजेस किस लिए है? पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर किस लिए है? अगर तुम फैसला करोगे कि गोली से इंसाफ करेंगे तो फिर बंद कर दो अदालतों को। जजेस क्या काम करेंगे फिर? कानून की बालादस्ती, रूल ऑफ लॉ रहना चाहिए ना? नहीं, आप तय करेंगे। अरे ये काम कोर्ट का है, आपका नहीं है। आप पकड़ो मुजरिम को, कोई कत्ल करता है तो सजा दिलाओ उसको, 12 साल 14 साल लाइफ दिलाओ, मगर ले जाकर घर को बुलडोजर से तोड़ देना। आसाम में लोगों को
Okay, so that is the attack coming in from Asaduddin Owaisi. He is questioned whether If the victim was a Muslim and the accused was a Hindu, you would ensure encounter justice. Owaisi also questioning the BJP, saying, what's the need for the judges? What's the need for any sort of court of law? If the BJP, according to him, is encountering the constitution. So this is the attack that's coming in from Asaduddin Owaisi. Several opposition voices have come out questioning the Yogi government right now. Akhilesh Yadav has called it a fake encounter. Asaduddin Owaisi is questioning what is the need for a rule of law if this kind of encounters take place, again hinting clearly that this is a fake encounter. Now, even as these reactions continue to come in, the BJP very clearly has sent out a message hailing the UP police. They've said that this is a message going across to criminals, that there will be no compromise when it comes to ensuring safety in the state of Uttar Pradesh, when it comes to ensuring that people are protected in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So the BJP is hitting back right now at all of the reactions coming in from the opposition. I'm slipping into a very short break here on India Today. I'll be right back, getting you all the latest updates on this big story and the reactions coming in.
You are watching India Today.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political back.
she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct. setting the tone for the biggest stories from every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
You are watching India Today.
UP's Mahant takes mafia to the mitti. India quaked by UP hunt kill action. Mafia mitti mein message delivered. Lived by the bullet, died by the bullet. Yogi puts every gangster on notice. Yogi's mantra, no maafi for mafia. India Today at Jhansi encounter site.
Good evening. You're watching India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. Our top focus is a story we broke first here on India Today. The encounter of gangster politician Atiq Ahmed's son, Asad Ahmed. Lot of political reactions coming in. The opposition is claiming this is an extrajudicial killing. They're calling it a fake encounter. We're getting you all the facts and what the UP police has also had to say. The headlines first. Atiq's son Asad killed in an encounter in Jhansi. Cops claim Asad and Ghulam fired at them, after which the duo was shot down. Atiq breaks down in court after hearing the news of his son's encounter. Fears for his own life. He was produced in court in Umesh Pal murder case, remanded to 7-day police custody. Encounter politics in Uttar Pradesh after Asad killing. Akhilesh Yadav calls it a fake encounter. Owaisi says shut the courts if you want to keep killing. BJP hits back, calls it the natural course of law. Asad and aide Ghulam fled to multiple cities to take shelter, from Kanpur to Delhi to Ajmer. Asad's escape route only on India Today. Between 12:30 and 1 this afternoon, there was a deadly encounter, gunfire that broke out in Jhansi of Uttar Pradesh, in which dreaded gangster Atiq Ahmed's son, Asad Ahmed, as well as another accused, Ghulam, both wanted in the Umesh Pal murder case, were gunned down. They were shot dead outside, at Prayagraj. They had fled after February 24th, when they had killed Umesh Pal. Both had a reward of 5 lakh on their heads. According to police, they opened fire at a team of Uttar Pradesh Special Task Force and were then killed in retaliatory action. Sophisticated weapons, brand new cell phones, SIM cards, all of that has been recovered from the duo. Asad Ahmed was killed on the day that his father, Don Atiq Ahmed, was brought to the Prayagraj court. Atiq reportedly broke down in court after he heard the news of his son being shot dead.
माफिया अतीक अहमद के बेटे का झांसी के पारीछा में एनकाउंटर किया गया। आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर एसटीएफ भी मौजूद है, पुलिस फोर्स भी तैनात गया है। बताया जा रहा है कि यहाँ पर चेकिंग की जा रही थी। चेकिंग के दौरान बाइक सवार 2 युवक नजर आए, तब उनको रोकने का प्रयास किया गया तो पता चला कि ये अतीक अहमद के बेटे समेत 2 उनका शार्प शूटर भी शामिल था, जिसमें जब उन्हें रोकने का प्रयास किया गया तो उन्होंने पुलिस टीम पर और जो एसटीएफ टीम पर है उस पर हमला कर दिया था, जिसमें एसटीएफ की टीम ने बचाव करते हुए फायरिंग कर दी, जिसमें दोनों जो अतीक अहमद का बेटे समेत 2 लोग हैं जो ढेर हो गए हैं। इनको फोर्स में जो आप देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पर हम आपको वो स्थान भी दिखाएंगे जहाँ पर एनकाउंटर हुआ है। आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर जो नज़दीक जो कुछ ही दूरी पर आप देख सकते हैं एसटीएफ भी खड़ी हुई है, पुलिस फोर्स भी खड़ा हुआ है। और जहाँ पर जो हुआ है वो हम दिखाएंगे आपको कि वहाँ पर जो जिस गाड़ी से वो जा रहे थे वो गाड़ी कौन सी है और कहाँ खड़ी। आप देखिए नीचे जो रखी हुई है वो गाड़ी यहाँ पर है। आप देखिएगा ये गाड़ी वही है जिस पर जो अतीक अहमद का बेटा जो है वो जा रहा था। आप देखिएगा यहाँ पर मुठभेड़ हुई है और हम कुछ दूरी पर वो भी दिखाएंगे। आप देखिएगा जो सामने दिख रहा है तमंचा पड़ा हुआ है, वो तमंचा भी देखिएगा। जो असलहा है, जिस असलहा से टीम पर हमला किया गया था वो असलहा भी दिखाया गया है। यहाँ पर भागते समय एसटीएफ ने उन पर हमला किया है। आप देखिएगा, फिर आपको दिखाएंगे। देखिए अब साफ तौर पर देखा जा रहा है तमंचा पड़ा हुआ है, जो नीचे बाइक पड़ी हुई है। यहाँ पर एनकाउंटर किया गया है। ये एसटीएफ की बहुत बड़ी सफलता है।
आज फाइनली इनको हम लोगों ने ट्रैक डाउन करने में सफलता प्राप्त की है और जो इन द एनसुइंग एनकाउंटर दे हैव बीन गन डाउन।
सर क्या क्या बरामदगी हुई है, क्योंकि ये लंबा ऑपरेशन था, और कितनी टीम जो आपकी इसमें जो है अंजाम दिया है?
इसमें एसटीएफ ने पूरी ताकत लगा रखी थी। लगभग सभी टीम्स जो एसटीएफ में है वो इस केस में के किसी न किसी क्रिमिनल पर या किसी न किसी एंगल पे काम कर रही थी। आज फाइनली एक सफलता हमें मिली है जिसमें 2 अपराधी मारे गए।
सर इसका लीड कैसे मिला, क्योंकि आपकी टीम लगातार गश्त दे रही थी, बार बार वो चकमा दे रहा था, मोबाइल बंद था, लोकेशन मिल नहीं रही थी, लीड कहां से मिला?
लीड्स के बारे में हम यहाँ बात नहीं करेंगे। सफलता मिली, ये इम्पोर्टेंट है।
सर आगे की कार्रवाई को लेकर के, क्योंकि अभी बाकी लोग भी हैं जिन पे गिरफ्तार भी होना बाकी है, उसके लिए किस तरीके का?
ये हमारी कार्रवाई अभी समाप्त नहीं हुई है। ये तो इसके पहले भी कुछ लोगों को गिरफ्तार हमने किया था। अब आगे भी कार्रवाई चलती रहेगी।
एक सूचना के आधार पे जब कुछ लोगों को इंटरसेप्ट किया गया तो उस दौरान दोनों तरफ से गोलियां चली और उस पुलिस ऑपरेशन में हमारी एसटीएफ की टीम थी तथा उस मुठभेड़ में 24/2/2023 को जो 2 अभियुक्त जिनको अपराधीकृत करते हुए सबने देखा है, मुठभेड़ में घायल हुए तथा बाद में उनकी मृत्यु हो गई, जिनकी पहचान असद पुत्र अतीक अहमद तथा गुलाम पुत्र मकसूदन के रूप में हुई। अभियुक्तों के पास से अत्याधुनिक विदेशी हथियार क्रमशः ब्रिटिश बुलडॉग रिवॉल्वर 455 बोर तथा वॉल्थर P88 पिस्टल 7.62 बोर बरामद की गई है।
So let's tell you exactly where this encounter took place. It was in Uttar Pradesh's Jhansi district, which is in western UP, that this encounter broke out at the Paricha Dam. According to the police, they were hiding in this dam between 2 police stations, which is when the encounter broke out. Barely 7 to 8 hours away from this location is where Atiq Ahmed was, in Prayagraj. In court, he was produced there when news of this encounter broke out. It was at the Paricha Dam in Jhansi between 12:30 to 1 in the afternoon that this encounter broke out. And Asad Ahmed as well as Mohammad Ghulam, both wanted in the Umesh Pal murder case, were killed at that location. I want to bring in now Samad Srivastava, who's joining us live from Prayagraj, getting us all the updates on the story. The big revelation that's coming from the police right now, Samad, is that confirmation that Atiq's son Asad Ahmed as well as Ghulam were there in Jhansi waiting it out for Atiq's convoy to come by. They wanted to free him. They wanted to help him escape from the corpse.
Well, obviously, that's a proper plot for the Atiq's son Asad Ahmed to, in a way, rescue his father Atiq Ahmed from the convoy of Uttar Pradesh police. That's what hinted by ADG Law and Order Prashant Kumar in his media briefing, and he clearly told that though UP police members were quite have known this particular thing because this was the information from the intelligence, and that's why they were
they were equipped with various weapons, and along with they have got 2 to 3 police vehicles around that particular van of Atiq Ahmed in which he was traveling, and that's why whenever that particular vehicle stopped, it was a major task for the police corps to release Atiq Ahmed back to the back to that particular van in seeing their security concern. It was the Jhansi police line where police took around 1.5 hours break. That was the massive break by the UP police Jawans while traveling back to that particular Prayagraj Naini jail. But this information seems to be very sensitive because whenever the next movement will happen, the eyes will be on, because it was not just about the UP cops, about the lives of UP cops and the rescue of Atiq Ahmed from the convoy. It was also about the media persons, because various media persons were following even India Today TV was following the convoy of Uttar Pradesh police carrying Atiq Ahmed. That could have been a danger to their lives as well if such attack could have been happened to release
Samad, just stay with me. The visuals, the images that we're showing right now on our screens is from the encounter site. The forensic team has reached the spot. They're conducting the investigation. You can see that the bike that was found next to the bodies of Asad Ahmed as well as Ghulam has also been taken away. They will be used for further evidence and the investigation as well. This was the bike that the accused attempted to use to flee from the spot. So clearly the bike also being taken away for forensic examination on that vehicle. We understand that all the bullets that have been found in that particular area, stray bullets during the exchange of gunfire, all of that has also been picked up right now by the forensic team. So these are the images right now of the forensic team at the encounter site, taking away all the pieces of evidence that they can find at the spot. You see there some of those pictures in those plastic bags. They've got bullets and all other crucial pieces of evidence that will be integral in this investigation, because remember, there will also be an investigation into what led to the encounter, the circumstances of the gunfire that broke out and ultimately led to the death of the 2 accused in this case. So those images coming to you from the encounter site in Jhansi. India Today continues to report from the spot where the encounter took place. The investigation here will be crucial, Samad, because you've already got the opposition crying that this is a fake encounter.
Well, obviously that's quite a tacky thing for the Uttar Pradesh police, because they were being questioned why they have not arrested the shooters so far, because 5 shooters were out of range, out of radar of Uttar Pradesh police, who had rupees 5 lakh prize on their head. So that was a massive amount of prize in the history of Uttar Pradesh for any criminal. But when but after around 45 days this incident happened, then also I must tell you that it has also become a political it has also taken a political turn, this incident, because former UP CM Akhilesh Yadav has tweeted and has claimed that BJP is against brotherhood. He even questioned the encounter of Asad and said a proper inquiry should be taken for the encounters happened today and for the encounters taken previously in the Yogi government. So this is a big fully loaded tweet by the Akhilesh Yadav. Though UP Deputy CM Keshav Prasad Maurya has slammed such tweets and has clearly said that Akhilesh Yadav is one person who keeps on questioning the encounters. He even said that whether the policemen could have died if they could not have killed or gunned down Asad and the other associate of Atiq Ahmed at that particular spot. That's what the UP STF chief Amitabh Yash kept on saying, and as well as ADG Law and Order Prashant Kumar, because what police said in their press conference that they wanted to arrest Asad Ahmed, but when they proceeded, firing happened from their end, and then it turned into a cross-firing, and in that case he got hit by the bullet of UP STF Jawans, and then they grabbed those 2 persons, because it's a major update, because at that time only Atiq Ahmed and Ashraf were at the CGM court, and what we got from the sources, Atiq Ahmed even fell down and cried after he heard the news of his son being killed. But it was him only that made his son Asad Ahmed die.
Just stay with me. Samad, reactions continuing to pour in right now. Mayawati has now also tweeted on what's happened on the killing of Atiq Ahmed's son in the police encounter. She has demanded that there be a detailed investigation into the circumstances in which this encounter took place. Mayawati has in fact said that there must be a high-level probe into this encounter, saying that it's necessary so that complete facts and truth of the incident can be brought before the public. So this is the big breaking news that's coming in. This is even as Akhilesh Yadav has already called it a fake encounter. Before an investigation or any sort of action, you've got Akhilesh saying this is a fake encounter. Mayawati, BSP chief, has made a mention also of the Vikas Dubey case, saying people feel that their apprehension is a repeat of the Vikas Dubey incident, and that has come true. So she's raising that particular incident. Somewhat interesting reaction from Mayawati. Even as Akhilesh Yadav has jumped the gun, declared this to be a fake encounter, she's saying there's a need for an investigation. And this is exactly what I was referring to when I said that, you know, what the forensic team does there at the spot is going to be crucial. It was inevitable that there would be demands for an investigation.
Well, obviously, it was as expected, Akshita. When we were following the convoy of UP police, we were hearing just one particular thing. I'm telling about that thing when it all started, from Atiq Ahmed coming from Sabarmati to the Prayagraj Naini jail for the first time. We saw on Twitter or on internet or from the ministers that the vehicle might overturn, just like Vikas Dubey. A BJP minister, JPS